Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Majestic Goose Network. Didn't exactly know how to intro this because this is the first time we've ever done this where we are doing a two-part of a brand new system that has, as far as my knowledge, has no kind of outside of eyes on it just yet. It goes to Kickstarter March 1st. The system is called Diesel. There has obviously been some playtesters so far, but other than that, I think you all watching and us getting to sit down with the system and try it out and play with it, I think we are the first to actually get our hands on it. So very excited for that. Tonight's going to be more of a system and setting overview into session 0 of us making characters, except for Gerundu. Gerundu will be the GM, so Gerundu, you can make a character with us.
No. I don't want your pity.
So I think before we get into the actual system of Diesel, we will go ahead and we'll just go around the table and have everybody introduce themselves in case you haven't seen us before. So Jeremy, you're in the top corner, so you get to start things off.
Are we introducing our characters or just ourselves?
Just ourselves, because I don't have a character name or anything yet. We're literally going to be making our characters on the stream, by the way, everybody.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, I'm Jeremy, and along with Gerundu, I am one half of Dice Talk. We are both the hosts of Dice Talk, as some of you may know. I am also the DM of Eclipse, which is a sci-fi fantasy thriller. And other than that, I don't know. I'm just always hanging out in the Majestic Goose Discord.
Yeah. And then we'll... I guess I'll go ahead and go. Yeah, I'm Adam DeWeese, and I'm a part of the Majestic Goose, and I'm on, like, a lot of different shows. You should check it out. You should go to majesticgoose.com. And we've got an extra live charity event coming up nearly next month. It's like April 9th and 10th. So I guess in like 2 days, 3 days, I'll be able to say next month. But you can go to bit.ly/goose2021 and donate there. And just started reaching out to sponsors like yesterday. And we've got... D&D Beyond is giving away 3 sourcebook collections, and Dwarven Forge is giving away a $100 gift card. And to enter into those giveaways, all you need to do is donate even $1 to that. And you can donate now, early, and go ahead and already get entered into all those giveaways. And then during the 24-hour charity event, all the money goes to Extra Life Cincinnati Children's Hospital. And throughout the event, we just kind of randomly will pick a time to pick a winner. Last year, we had so many giveaways that, like, by the last, like, 4 hours, it was like every 20 minutes we had to do a giveaway because we tend to get tons of stuff to give away. So it's definitely worth it to donate $1 to help out some sick kids and also be entered in a bunch of giveaways. And then going past me to along the top row, we will go down to Ernest, a.k.a. Hollow Invective.
Hey everybody, I'm Ernest, also known as Hollow Invective. I do some work with Majestic Goose. I also have a Eberron-based D&D stream on my channel on Tuesdays. It's been a little up and down because of inclement weather and whatnot, but it's a great time. Tuesdays at 6 p.m. and always willing to help out here.
And then we'll go straight down to our GM for this two-shot, Gerundu.
Hello, I'm Gerundu. You can find me as the other half of Dice Talk with Jeremy, dropping on your pod feeds every alternate Wednesday, every alternating other Wednesday. You can find me at GM Lap Pendergrass upon Shitty Cowboys with my boy Sean Marston and GM by Adam DeWeese. Also going live that week with the following episode from the podcast drop. So you'll always be caught up if you're watching us live. What else? I am Silas Lancaster in Roll for Weird, and I'm Flex Crystal in Motorsport Sport Association. Live on Twitch Monday nights when we are in fact live. I think we're going to go alternate weeks from the next episode. Other than that, you can probably find me on the charity stream doing various different things, and I will drop the Flex Crystal voice. And yeah, that's it. You can find me in Discord.
And then we'll go down to the bottom row, starting with Danny.
Hi, I'm Danny. You can find me all over the internet as Danielle Lenoir. You can find me hanging out here on Majestic Group Network once a month doing Roll for Weird live streams. I play Laysa, the Divine. And you can also find me every other Tuesday hanging out with DB doing That's Pretty Crafty, where we chat about nerdy things and make crafts that are vaguely related to them.
And then last but certainly not least, we have got Dragonbait.
Hi, I'm Dragonbait. I am everywhere. I do a lot of things. I'm over at the Nerd Asylum. I do three streams with them and a podcast over there, which is NA by Night, The Hidden, Barovia Beckons, and then Ilvermorny is the podcast. I'm on 20SA as Nora. I am also the GM for Roll for Weird, our monthly live stream, and I am the other half of That's Pretty Crafty, where I make a whole bunch of mistakes.
Nobody's no effect.
It do what it be.
It be what it do.
It be what it do.
It's one of those two. And yeah, with all of that out of the way, I think we are good to Gerundu. If you've got an idea of a starting place for this stream, again, everybody.
I guess we'll start with a little bit about the setting itself, just to sort of set the scene. So essentially, in a nutshell, we're looking at a setting inspired by Mad Max, Firefly, westerny, diesel punky, frontiery business. To get into slightly more specific terms, perhaps, let me find the relevant bits of the book. All right, so diesel exists in a world basically analogous to ours. A planet orbits its sun and it has a moon, etc. But long ago, the dimensional wall of this reality was broken, and instead of being surrounded by reality, the world directly intersects with it. So it is possible for you to walk off the edge of the known world into the region known as the frontier, which is the region in between dimensions, and within that region, anything that could be is. So, you know the theory of like, if in a infinite universe, anything that can possibly exist does. That is brought into stark focus if you pass into the frontier, where literally anything that could potentially exist can and does. So, in the desert region of Edge, which is where reality, our conventional reality, butts up against the frontier. A rare crystalline substance slowly accumulates like a scab attempting to cover too large a wound. You have essentially the scar tissue of reality formed of this crystallized substance, which is essentially reality-made material, which has near infinite uses. The Possibilitas Corporation has begun mining this substance using essentially indentured labor. So desperate people who are sort of given promises of striking it rich and hitting claims. But all the land, all the equipment, everything is owned in a huge monopoly by this Possibilitas Corporation. In addition to it being physically demanding and terrifying work, it caught constant exposure to the frontier causes serious mental damage, because humans weren't meant to be outside our conventional reality. But nevertheless, a constant stream of people are coming to work with the prospect of a better life being sold to them by the corporations, and often they're just chewed up and spat out by the machine.
Sometimes literally. Yeah,
sometimes literally, because there are, if anything's possible, there are very hungry machines just sort of lying about there. But yeah, essentially the corporations live in absolute luxury, in the lap of luxury, far away from the working people who toil and send all their wealth far away to the distant corporate masters. from our present day, 20 or 30 years ago, nobody's quite sure when, an event known as the Anything War rocked the world. Now, some believe that extra-dimensional invaders burst forth from the frontier, so from outside of any potential reality, while others claim that it was sparked by a massive conspiracy meant to drum up support for the corporations that raise the defense, so Possibilities Corporation and any other military-industrial complexes that operate within this reality. But the thing that everybody agrees on is that there are possibility and multidimensional ripples have influenced time in a way that is still not quite understood by lay people. But during this period, the Possibilities Corporation sort of emerged as the unrelenting monopoly on the material of possibility, and have started to experiment with it scientifically. As a result of that experimentation, a new biotechnology has been created, one that runs on diesel fuel. Humans, i.e. yourselves, you disgusting flesh bags, incorporating this technology into yourselves, so you gain extraordinary abilities at the cost of your own flesh and humanity. For instance, a gun protruding from a hand, or a shield emerging from your forearm. And others are even more extreme, placing internal organs with an engine, so you can literally have a diesel engine installed into your body. This, of course, requires the use of the fabulous material possibility, with a capital P. Possibility! But once begun, the crystals are no longer required, only fueled. That's sweet, sweet diesel. First diesels were pressed into service in the Anything War, since their modified bodies were more suited to the frontier and warfare. But yes, essentially you would have these mods installed in you, which is made possible thanks to possibility. You have literal parts of your bodies scooped out and replaced with purring diesel engines. I don't think anybody's described a diesel engine as purring before, but there you go. Yeah, so essentially diesels were initially developed as soldiers and corporate agents during the Anything War, and now they exist as remnants of a time that never was. That's beautiful. Their parts aging and rusting. So far away from the edge, as I say, in the central city, everything is great. In the diesels that often be employed in higher risk, high value positions with Possibilities Corporation, essentially, or sometimes with other corporations. But working for ultra rich to pay off debts required to become a diesel in the first place. Other intrepid or rogue diesels exist in the edge, just trying to live as they see fit. It's not lawless because the corporations maintain a pretty solid grip on their own influence, but other than that, they don't really care too much about what normal folk are doing, because they're too downtrodden to be much resistance, essentially. So it's not quite lawless, but unless you're directly interfering with the corporations making a profit, they probably aren't going to interfere with any bad behavior that's going on right there, if you see what I mean. And I think that's essentially it. I think the other third possibility for you to become a diesel would be to do it on your own, free from corporate strings, but that would often suggest that you're using second-hand materials and perhaps less reputable sources to gain those ability. I think that's about it for general world building. I don't think we need to go into too much more than that in general.
Yeah, so gist of it, big barrier cut down, slicing. I actually don't know how much of the world is cut off. I don't know if it half the world got cut, or if when that barrier came down, the reality wall shattered or intersected us. But
it's a large area that's been cut off. We can say that.
We'll say that because definitively. So yeah,
I don't want this to just be a law dump where I just
but pretty much Frontier looks like behind Danny and myself, and then most of the edge looks kind of like behind Gerundu, which is like kind of a desert wasteland. Which
imagine the Old West Dust Bowl kind of Mad Maxy kind of thing. This is the edge
with a big creepy wall that if you look at too much, you get a bunch of emotional distress.
It hurts your brain. Yeah,
it hurts your brain. Okay, well, yeah, and then that brings us to us 5. Yes, there are 5 of us. I can somewhat count tonight.
Quick math.
So. I guess we could go ahead. Do we need anything out of the way before we just at least start getting into the character creation process?
As part of any sort of session 0, I guess we should at least talk about safety tools. Now, given that I've played with all you guys before, I have a rough idea of topics that you would like me to avoid, and to avoid bringing that up again. Unless anybody is really wants to make sure that I don't skip anything, I don't want to call anybody out in person. But if there's anything that you think I'm not aware of that you would like me to avoid, please let me know now.
Yeah, you can maybe even
drop me a little Discord message or something in Discord or in the whatever.
This system has some. I think the system might actually have some unique safety tools baked into it. It definitely has a safety tools section.
Sure, it certainly does. I'm just going to go with what we do amongst ourselves, because I think the important thing is that you do address some kind of safety tools, and I'm not necessarily, given the degree of comfortability we have with ourselves and the fact that we play with each other all the time, I'm pretty sure I know what to avoid. But as I say, if anybody has anything else, if something comes up if I inadvertently bring up something that anybody is uncomfortable with, just X me and we will move on. No questions asked. We'll just drop that scene and move on to something else. Other than that, I think that just about covers it with us. As I say, if you're playing with other people and you don't already have a good sense of what people do, then maybe go a bit more in depth with your safety tools, and they are provided within the game system itself. So do look into that and make sure that everybody's here for a good time and you're not going to upset anybody or spoil the experience for any of your players, or But as I say, because we are a big majestic goose family, I think we'll probably be okay. So after that, I guess we're essentially gonna do a bit of world building ourselves. So the idea of you guys going off on your own and creating a character, and then I independently go away and come up with some novels worth of adventure. It's not the case in this system. It's more kind of like how we do it be what it do in Roll for Weird, where we sort of communally work together and we build up your characters, and then I use that as a way of devising plot hooks, which will form the adventure that we play tomorrow. In the meantime, so has everybody got their character sheets? I guess we'll fill in the mechanical stuff, and then we'll do the more fun,
questions
things,
and stuff.
Questions about your diesels and
that reminds me. One thing it reminds me is that I need to actually make a copy of this character sheet, because I realized I was planning on typing myself into this character sheet, and I realized oh wait, this is the template. So let me make a copy of that character sheet real quick, so I'm not actually working in Steve's character sheet doc. Mm-hmm. So
while you're doing that, then we'll just talk in general terms about the kind of themes or narratives that you guys you'd be interested in exploring, and I guess we'll flesh those will become more fleshed out as we build your guys' diesels, and you tell me what your character modifications are, and we can build I'll build scenarios to cater to those.
Sure.
All right. Well, in terms of your guys' sort of general morality, where do you think you'll fall in the corporations versus the little guy part of the equation?
So, so first of all, my character's name is Merrick.
Mm-hmm.
And Merrick used to be a corpo. He used to work for the corporation Possibility, and they kind of screwed him over. So now he is chaotically against them, almost to the point of, like, you know, even though he's on the side of the little guys, if he can take down the corpo and a few little guys got to fall in the action, he might go for it.
Danny and DB both lean back at the same exact time.
That kind of thing is what led him to being a little guy in the first place. Was
I get you.
Betrayal. So he hates the corpo so much that he's almost forgetting, you know, why he hates them. Like he's willing to do that to someone else to get back at them.
He's less altruistic and more antagonistic.
And maybe if he thought about it reflectively, he wouldn't want to be that way. But I think impulsively in the moment, if he saw the chance, take out the whole business, kill a few whatevers, it's a small price to pay.
It's more the enemy of my enemy than you're my friend.
Well, let me just tell you that my note for that is really, really irrationally angry at Possibilities Corp.
Yeah. I mean, he lost half his face.
Which half?
All down his body. The lower half.
The good half.
We're not even sure right now.
I didn't know if you meant left or right, down or up.
This side.
He's Adam.
Which side?
Well, I see Jeremy, and I didn't know if Jeremy's actually, like, really...
No, this is the part that got burned. You should have seen me before.
Maybe he lost his eyes and then got those replaced with diesel stuff. He just wears the bottom mask for kicks.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's just, this is a fashion choice. That's gonna...
Yeah, that's a fashion post-apocalyptic mask.
No, but in reality, it's just disfigured enough to where the sound wouldn't come out correctly. The mask helps correct the parts of his mouth that are missing that would normally make the sound
where they're supposed to be, somewhat.
Right. It translates the vibrations to actual language. Since his mouth is damaged so much, it would be almost imperceivable.
Yeah, I would like to. I mean, in general, I think I myself, Adam, would like to be against the big guy, the man, and also somewhat of a backstory I've had turning in my head. My character will also be kind of just against, maybe not as forcefully and antagonistically as Jeremy.
What's your guys' motivation? Do you think, like, what's kind of motivating that dislike for the corporation?
I lost everything when they bought up when they were kind of expanding the Central Cities. They bought out my character's home, and and then after that, you just couldn't. Everything just kind of got gentrified, and everybody just kind of got forced out to the edge, and so it pretty much took like my whole way of living. But like I wouldn't, I'm not like planning on murdering a bunch of people. It's more like it's just an internal anger towards them.
So you'd be motivated, like, kind of by revenge.
Yeah, if it came about, like, I won't be like actively seeking it out, but like if like someone comes to me and is like, hey, I gotta.
So yeah, I'm gonna stick it to the Possibility Corporation.
Yeah, hey, I found out. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm thinking. I definitely want to deal with some of the deserters of the flesh part of the lore. I'm thinking that my character is a runaway, maybe grew up in the cult, and is a runaway from their nonsense.
Okay.
Outwardly, I look almost okay, but under the surface, I am mostly diesel.
Oh, nice. I was hoping somebody went that route. So the Deserters of the Flesh are like this cult of anti-meat. They're thinking like full-on diesel is the way to go, and that's like the future. So that's cool.
Yeah.
It's like the Adeptus Mechanicus or the Iron Hands in Warhammer 40k, something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I definitely want to deal with that. I'm thinking my character might be kind of outfitted to kind of like be able to travel. Okay, kind of like almost like almost a car, but like
Are you gonna be our car tomorrow night? I hope so. That'd be cool as hell.
Yeah, I can at least drive around and hang out, but like my character's definitely gonna be like a gentle giant. Definitely doesn't want to get into nonsense, but nonsense finds him because it's the outside.
Tanya said a centaur, a cent car. Like a centaur, but a car.
So let me ask you this then. So what would motivate your character to not be a gentle giant, to get into a scrape, or to?
It's usually fighting for the downtrodden, fighting for people who don't have power themselves, because I unfortunately have the responsibility of having all this stuff in me. And that leads me to have to act in some way.
Cool. And perhaps to defending this downtrodden, or if a friend was in trouble, something like that. That work. Cool. To help a friend, you got a very strong moral compass and sense of duty. Well, at least one of you has. Cool. I love it. I really like this. Okay.
Mags is sort of the opposite.
I'm loving it. Mags is the complete opposite.
Well, these are the balls that are in the air. It's up to you guys to juggle them.
Well, her moral
Mags.
compass is a little bit less functional. She goes where the money goes. Things are a little bit weird for her. Her parents fought in the Anything Wars. She was born during that, sort of, because that time period was all weird and
It's all wibbly wobbly.
wobbly. Her parents were pretty messed up by the whole thing, and they got some compensation for it in the form of mods for her when she was little. Real small, when she started getting her mods.
Okay.
So she's got a little bit of a sense of obligation towards the corporations that made her mods possible, but also antagonism towards them because of what they did to her parents. So mostly she just says fuck it and gets paid.
Okay.
So it seems like we're all good guys.
Yeah, we're Jordan. Just put that. Just scrap your notes, Jordan. Just put we're all the super good guys.
Good guys.
Totally, yeah.
Oh well, we'll just skip all the rest of this. And your adventure is you're going
just
to
good guys
Grandma's
together.
house for a hug. Roll for hugs.
Roll for hugs. Oh my gosh.
That would be a great.
Oh, you killed Granny. That was 3 failures. Granny died. You broke her spine. You hugged her too hard. No, I'm sorry.
No. So, my character is going to be Dr. Irina Titanium.
Whoa.
That's
a badass name right there.
Yeah.
And she used to work for the corporation, but kind of... she's kind of more wants to help people than, like, just do what the corporation wanted. And so, like, in her, like, free time, spare time, she would, like, go out and try to, like, help anybody who was sick or anything like that. And after a while, she realized, oh, the reason they're getting sick is because, like, the corporation is forcing them to do things that is pushing their bodies to not the right limit. So she kind of went, fuck that, and decided that she wants to, like, help the little man a little bit more.
Okay. So, motivations for
Another
Dr.
good
Irina Titanium
another actual good one. It sounds like.
is guilt, really, I guess, isn't it?
A little bit because she had part in what they did. But like
Maybe you'd be willing to be the person on the inside.
I could be, but
I'm just throwing that out there because
my other motivation is definitely yeah. Actually, I think I really like that because then they're paying her, but she's also giving away their secrets.
I was gonna ask if you like completely cut ties with them or not, or if you're still on the payroll.
I think it would be.
I think that would probably be pretty
both.
dangerous. That'd be a dangerous thing to do. I mean, like, what is Dr. Irina a doctor of?
What is she not a doctor of? No, just kidding. I think she has a lot to do with like putting like the diesel stuff into people.
Okay, so like
So
you're
a little more
a diesel
medical.
doctor.
Yeah. So she has medical and diesel. So would
Okay.
that also make her a mechanic? Like,
Yeah,
It
kind of.
probably would be pretty, yeah.
But I mean, there'd be related fields, wouldn't they, in the world where
in
these
this
people
world.
exist?
Yeah.
Exactly.
so
Okay. Yeah, I like it.
I also
like it
think
a
that
lot.
part of that is people think that she's only for the corporation, but like
Mhm.
the people who want to take down the corporation know that she is an ally of theirs. So it's this like weird secretive life that she has between.
Oh,
the
that's
two.
cool.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm liking all these characters a lot.
Yes, I do like that. Let's see what the instructions say to do next. Well, we kind of done a little brief sort of overview about what everybody's motivated by, I think. And obviously, as I say, I'll be taking copious notes throughout. But this is just to give a general sort of idea about what your character is motivated by, and give you guys a little sense of how to inhabit them. Okay. Yeah, I think that'll do for that. So I think we'll do the mechanical stuff now then. Did you manage to copy that?
I did, yes. I made a
file.
copy for myself.
Did anybody else make a copy who needs to? Has
I
everybody
did,
got
yes.
one? Yeah?
Yep.
Cool. Okay, so we'll do the mechanical stuff. So your basic stuff on your character sheet. I need to bring up a copy of it as well myself. Dope.
This will also be kind of just for the people watching of not only how to build a character, but also I think this will probably bleed in a little bit to kind of the mechanics of the game as well, probably.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's probably... I always find that that's the easiest way to contextualize it, is by looking at the character sheet and then just, mechanically filling it in. It makes... For me, it makes it make a lot more sense. I could talk about it for 18 hours and you would all just be like, ah!
Honk?
Honk! But yeah. So you have basic stats in this, which are brawn, dexterity, personality, mechanics, know-how, and organics. So brawn speaks for itself: physical toughness and strength, and also endurance and stamina. Dexterity is dexterity, stuff with your hands, and also sort of stealth. Personality is your charisma, how you make friends and influence people. Mechanics is fixing machines and diesel things, interfacing with tech. Know-how is fixing broken bones, spouting intel, making plans. And organics is how much of you is organic. And that has a direct effect on your other stats. So you can't have any stat higher than your organic score. So it's not just a measure of humanity, just of your what is physically squishy bits. And you can, importantly and philosophically, you can gain machine parts without losing what makes you human. The content of your character is your humanity, not your fleshy bits. Okay, so your organic score starts at 4, as always, until you fill yourself up with metal. So the standard array of points that you have is 4, 3, 3, 3, and 2, and you can put those numbers into whichever one of the base, any of the base stats you like.
Yeah, so, I mean, it seems like the real unique thing about this system is that organic stat. And the mods that come up.
Yeah, I'm really seeing that.
Yeah, yours is good. Yours is really gonna adjust your stats a lot.
Yeah.
Because we know that you are probably gonna dip down that organics a bit and dip up on the mods you've got.
Yeah, because you know, think about the system right now as it stands is that your organic score starts at 4, and that gives you 6 slots. 6 slots. Six slots to have for your diesel parts. But you can drop your mechanics. You can drop your score by 1 after you get your seventh slot or your 7th part, because some slots take up more than 1 part. But then that gives you 14 slots, and then you can take it down to 2, and you know, and so on to gain more slots. The thing about that is, we were talking about it earlier off camera, is that your meat is also kind of your HP score. So you know, if something gets through all that meat, all that metal and everything, you've got like 1 hit point, so you could be, you know, leaking diesel and then, you know, bleeding out on the ground and dying as a big hunk of scrap. So
it makes for an interesting trade-off, I think.
It is, yeah.
It's a cool system.
It's very fun.
I like that. I mean, we'll get into this more later, I guess, when we go into the more sort of bones of how playing the game works. But your AC isn't how difficult it is to hit you. You have an armor score, which effectively negates that amount of damage, and then you have something called guard, which also negates that amount of damage. So if something gets through all that, and then it hurts you, your armor has more of an effect than just increasing the difficulty to hit you. You can still be hit and then absorb that damage. But in any case,
yeah. If I went ahead and put my stats down because mine is pretty straightforward. I've kind of got a mechanic in mind. I kind of want to be like a fixer. I think I may be along the same lines as Dr. Titanium. So I just put for mine, I kept my organics at 4 because I'm kind of afraid to drop it down any lower. I'll leave that to what was it? Optimus? What was?
I'm gonna be Automac Primus.
Automac Primus. I'll leave that to Automac Primus to.
Let me write that down.
See how that goes. But so I kept my organics at 4. I put my 3s in brawn, dexterity, and know-how. I put my personality down to 2, and my mechanics is at 4. So you pretty much get 3 level stats, and then you get 1 low and 1 high. And I put my low in personality and my high in mechanics.
Hey, what are these numbers again? Just so I can. I'm trying to find them in the document.
4, 3, 3, 2.
Yeah.
4, 3, 3.
And it starts at 4.
4, 3, 3, 3, 2.
3, 2. Yeah, yes. 4, 3, 3s and a 2.
Okay.
Also, thank you. Someone either followed us or something, and I'm gonna add the alerts to the screen right now. Oh, it should have been on there, but it wasn't. Oh, because it was blocked by the cover. Sorry. Thank you, whoever either followed us or hosted or subscribed, whatever you did. Thank you so much.
Somebody did something.
Somebody did something, and we're very appreciative.
Thank you for doing the thing. I definitely went with Titanium's highest being mechanics, but then I also did dexterity because it made more sense for her to have nimble hands whenever she's putting things. Yeah. And her lowest stat is brawn, because I think it just makes more sense that she also has a personality.
I guess,
see, that was my.
Adam, you'd be more of a sort of like handyman.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking I probably should have my brawn up just because, like, just working around in the shop and stuff, you probably get it. But personality,
you're a horny-handed son of toil, right?
I dipped mine because I'm planning on going kind of old prospectory, and I don't think that personality is going to get me very far. So,
gold. All right, cool. Is everybody happy with the way that they allocate those stats.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go brawn 4, and gonna go 3 know-how, 3 personality, 2 dexterity, 3 mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm definitely gonna take at least for at least so far 1 organics dip.
So
to
you'll
get those
have
extra-
how many slots will that get you to?
That'll give me to 14 slots.
14 slots. That's a lot.
Because I need them.
That's cool.
But you also can't have a stat higher than your organics, so you have to drop that 4 to a 3.
Yep.
Cool.
Oh,
Excellent.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
I've also taken an extra organics.
Oh,
I've been getting mods since
that's
I was a kid,
true. Yeah.
That's true. You did.
so I'm keeping my low as the mechanics. Everything else is a 3.
I really hope I'm not
Okay.
the person
That makes sense.
did that to you.
That makes
Probably
sense.
am.
You have all those things installed in you when you were a child, so you don't know how they work. You just have them. They're just part of you.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So it doesn't really say, or at least I haven't seen it yet. Like, you know, do you just pick all the mods you can get, and they're just kind of assumed in your backstory, or is there like a price you pay or somewhere?
So it's,
Yeah, so we'll get into that in a sec, I think. So once you guys have all assigned your basic stats, we go into your metal and meat. So that's basically determined by your organic stat. So your total of metal and meat should always add up to 6. So whatever your organic score is your meat score, and then the remainder will be your metal score. So for instance, if you've got organics 4, your meat score is 4 and your metal is 2.
That makes sense.
And if you've got 3 organics, your meat is 3, your meat is organic.
Your
Obviously
meat is organic.
your meat is organic, and you should handle that meat accordingly. And then it will be 3 metal. So as long as your meat and metal both add up to 6, and your meat is the same as your organic score, that's cool.
How do we generate
Okay.
guard and armor?
Guard, I'm just going into guard now. Armor is based off your mods and your equipment, which we'll get into. Guard is based off, as I said before, is your sort of general ability to avoid hits. So it's how much damage you can shrug off before it starts affecting you physically. It refreshes when you have a bit of time to take a breather after a conflict, and it's equal to 1 plus the higher value of either your dexterity or brawn scores.
Okay.
So it either represents your ability to avoid damage,
or take it.
or parry it, or just go, just take it on
Just flex real
take
hard.
it on the chin. Yeah.
Sorry, my son came in to say goodnight. How do we generate the meat metal? I know I think it was armor you said we're going to get to, but
We'll
meat
get to
metal?
armor when we do equipment. Yeah. So meat and metal. Your organic score is your meat score,
Okay.
and then your metal score added to that should total 6. So if you've got 4 organics, you'll have 4 meat and 2 metal. If you've only got 1 organics, you'll have 1 meat and 5 metal. See what I mean?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
You got that, Adam?
It adds it totals 6, so my
It
metal
needs
will be
to total
2.
6,
My
yeah.
meat will be 4. Gotcha.
Yeah. Cool.
Sorry.
That's fine. Don't be sorry. This is all new to all of us. Okay, so we've done. You okay with guard, Adam? So it's
I've got
1 plus
yes.
your brawn, right?
My
I think
brawn
your
and
brawn's
dex are
higher
the
than your
same,
dex.
so it's 4.
Okay, so
I guess sometimes
yours-
it's me just flexing hard, and sometimes I'll dodge. I guess.
Yeah, whichever you feel like at the time. Okay, so whenever you take damage, it's applied first to your guard, and only to your metal or meat after you run out of guard. Pardon me.
Jeez, Jerome.
So, I'm very sorry. So, now we're coming into mods. This is determined by your organic score, as we previously discussed, and how much of your fleshy bits and squishy bits you're willing to give up in the name of sweet, sweet diesel. So if you've got, I mean, 4 organics is 6 slots. 3 3 is 14, 2 is 24, and 1 is 36. So nobody's got a higher organic score than 4 because you can't mechanically. So what's everybody's score? We'll make sure we've got it all worked out. So I know Adam's organic score is 4, right?
Yes, I kept my organics the same.
Yep, so you've got 6 mod slots that you can use.
What? Sorry, Justin just gifted like 6 people subs.
I'm so sorry. That laugh was because I just watched Jeremy drink out of a straw.
I know. I thought your laugh was Jeremy drinking noise. Because I was looking at chat.
Sorry.
I also
I made a straw hole.
I want to jump in real quick while this sub explosion's going off. I did post in chat the link to the quick play rules. It's pay what you want, so you can go to that link. I highly suggest kicking Steven and the crew a couple bucks for those. I mean, it's the quick play rules. It's not the official full rule set yet because it's not out yet. But if you go there, you will see a couple of these mods that we're about to get into, and that's why I wanted to plug it before we get into the mods. But also, we've got kind of an early access to a little bit of more of an expanded rule set, so we may pick some mods that are not in that quick play set. And I just wanted to point that out for anybody that picks that up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not just bullshitting this. This is written down.
Yeah, it's not just Grundy making up a bunch of really badass mods off the top of his head.
Straight from the top of my dome as I rock the microphone. But no, yes. I think if everybody's okay with how many mod slots they've got, if not, speak up now and we'll go through the table.
I'm good.
Everyone's happy? Okay, cool. Okay then. So, I'll give a brief overview on mods while you guys have a look through the list and sort of decide what you'd like to take.
I'm sorry, Drendu. You said it's based. You get a number of mods equal to what number?
Well, what's your organic score?
My organic score is 4.
4. So you've got 6 mod slots.
Okay, thanks.
And if you notice, Jeremy, it'll have on there like how many slots a mod takes, because some.
Right. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, some take up more than 1.
Okay.
You can go over that, but if you wanted to, but that will accordingly reduce your organic score.
Okay. Thanks.
No probes. Right. So yeah, so we'll go into the overview of mod classes. Now, you're not strictly set into any one skill tree. You're allowed to sort of mix and match from between them. Entirely up to you, which is really cool. There's not set classes or anything. They're just subheadings of mods that you can get for descriptive purposes, essentially. There's no restrictions on what you can choose. They're all there for you to take as long as you're willing to take the according loss of your slots. So the first category of mods are charger mods. So these were originally intended to make industrial labor more efficient. So charger mods are now used by diesels who value brute force delivered at frightening speed. So this would be physical enhancements, things that enhance your strength and your speed and your ability to move around sort of, beyond normal human capabilities. The second category of mods is knight, as in knight, intended to shore up the front lines of battles. Knight mods incorporate armor and defensive technology into a diesel's body, often at the cost of speed or maneuverability. So yeah, these will be outright, could just be ablative armor that you've outright got grafted onto your body, or it might be some sort of I don't know, some sort of incoming missile defense, or something like that. The third category of mods is machinist. and that sort of speaks for itself. It's tools and mods that were meant to enable squadrons of diesels to range further from home before needing to return for repair. So machinists are expert in field repair and scavenging, which sounds quite up Adam's street, based on what we've discussed about his character so far. And then we've got Slicer. Slicer mods are deadly close combat weapons with an emphasis on evasion. These soldiers can move through enemy ranks, cut down infantry, and escape unscathed. They sound like fine fodder for the arena. So yeah, Slicer mods, pretty self-explanatory. It's quick, nippy, slicey T-1000-y type things, arm blades, and close combat. Then we have Slinger, short for Diesel Slinger. Slinger mods prepare a diesel for a firefight at any range. With firearms built into their bodies, these diesels can make impossible shots look easy. Things like arm cannons, finger blasters, even like I think a concealed revolver in your wrist, all that kind of stuff. That's pretty goddamn cool. But they are essentially guns built into your body. And then finally we have Thief. Thief mods. Thief mods are a recent invention developed by the black market and Possibilitas. As the world turned from war to corporate control, Thief mods have a wide gamut of applications, from information brokering to theft to assassination. So roguey, stealthy mods, or things that facilitate you doing sneaky stuff, whether that is physically sneaky or emotionally sneaky, or psychologically sneaky. Various different sneaky things, manipulative things that you can do. And there's a note here saying multiple physical mods may occupy the same physical part of a diesel's body. There's no reason why you've got magical possibility crystals that you can't have, I don't know, 3 different things in your left arm, if that's what you want. That's absolutely fine. Rule of cool applies, as always, with pretty much every game that I run. You know me, I am not a stickler for accuracy or slavish adherence to the rules as written. But the rules as written in this case specifically make a point of saying rule of cool applies. So, as I say, feel free to pick whatever you think and implement it in whatever way makes sense to you or that you think is cool.
Yeah, I've got... Yeah.
Oh, has everybody made some choices?
I've already got my 2.
DV,
because one takes up 4 slots and one takes up 2.
I think I know your 2.
Okay, can you tell me what they are, Adam?
Well, I only no, not like your 2, like both of them. The one that takes up 2 slots. Did you actually go with the Hellraiser?
I didn't.
Oh, I thought that was gonna be your one.
So I did pick from the quick startup ones.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So that if you guys wanted to do more of the advanced ones, I was gonna go, okay, that's cool. But I decided to go with Arm Blade because and I'm hoping Garundu will let me do this, that my arm blade is not always a blade on my arm, but it like gets hidden away. As like a doctor, it would be very dangerous for me just to have
no, of course you can. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it would. Yeah, as you say, it'd be a bit weird if you were just like walking around with this enormous sword hanging off your arm all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
And then the other one I had was foot pad, because it makes sense that I also have to sneak through the building to like get information for people when I am a double agent.
Yeah, and there's no reason, like, there are certain mods that say that you replace your hand with a set of surgical tools or whatever, but there's no reason why you would necessarily opt for that, because it's entirely possible for you to use your regular flesh hands to use surgical tools.
Exactly. But I also thought, like, arm blade could be even used in surgery.
You need to do a quick amputation. I imagine you probably do have to do quite a lot of amputations.
Yeah, it's easier just to like, okay, arm blade, shank, and put it back. Everything's sterile. Don't worry about it.
So you've got a concealed arm blade and the foot pad. Was it?
Yeah, foot pad.
Foot pad. I will look at what those do later, but you just describe what they do for the benefit of
so The description on this, I have to pull it up to the big screen so I can actually see. So the arm blade, sometimes you just need the precision of an arm with the cutting power of a blade. The arm blade the arm blade satisfies both these needs by implanting a bladed edge onto the outside of your chosen arm. But we're changing that. The arm blade covers the entire length of your arm and counts as a big melee weapon and comes with a +1d bonus to all attack rolls due to its visual sensor integration with your nervous system. You can't. Oh, I can't conceal the arm blade unless you can conceal your arm.
I will say, how about this? You can. It's obvious that you've got an arm blade there.
Yeah.
Like
Your jackets all have fucking big slashes in them.
But it's just not deployed all the time.
Okay.
Because you're a doctor and you don't want to be like slicing through door frames and stuff.
Yeah. I also like the reason that I was thinking that it was more concealable is I do know like how these mods work because I do them often, and like I thought, oh, this could be an upgraded thing that we're gonna release later.
Prototype.
Well, it says, I mean, if you've got your arm concealed, so if you're wearing a doctor coat,
I think that's concealing your arm, yeah.
That's concealing your arm, right?
I think it's just saying that, like, if somebody saw your bare arm, they will
if you were
notice
like,
it.
if you were to pass through a metal detector or an X-ray.
I don't think any of us are fucking going through a metal detector.
I mean, get through it, but
I mean, I think some of these things you can, though. They are concealable.
Probably,
not obvious.
I'm looking at an eyeball that may be able to slip past one.
Yeah, so I'm looking at my my filled 14 slots, and honestly,
it's a lot.
All right, Mr. 14 slots.
I'm kind of like, man, wow. Maybe should I drop it? Should I have dropped my organics to 2? Anyway, what?
Well, if you wanted to, why not?
Yeah, I mean, I was part of this crazy cult. I'm doing it.
Yeah, that'll be really fun. That's good. And speaking of, DB, I think we did skip your Padfoot one. I want to let you know.
I'm so sorry. No, it's fine. I didn't even think about it.
We're all excited. It's fine.
Yeah, I know. I've got one that might pair with Optimus. I'm gonna keep calling you Optimus. I'm sure. Optimus. But.
So basically the Padfoot one is I can move quietly, I keep my balance, and I can climb with my hands and feet. As an additional perk, I never have to worry about arch support again, which is really nice as a doctor. Like I'm always on my feet,
You're always on your feet
around.
That's a good one for a doctor.
So you can, like, you've got Spider-Man abilities, basically.
I do, yes.
Cool,
and quiet
sick.
Spider-Man.
And
which is
good posture.
Is cool for a super secret spy.
Yep.
Double agent. So, Automac, I guess.
Yeah, so right now, what I have is I have a reinforced skeleton, which allows me to allows me to carry more weight. And wear armor that's higher than my normal brawn. I have redundant systems, which allows me to, if something goes offline, for me to kind of slot in. Like if one thing goes offline, I can kind of like turn it back on.
Mm-hmm. You got backups.
Yeah, I got backups. I have the organopheric weave, which says it looks like
metal skin.
Well, it says it looks like skin. But it's actually just kind of woven. It's like a metal weave under your skin.
Yeah.
Or actually, I'm sorry. That's the organ mesh. And then I have the pharaoh skin, which is the under the skin weave.
Pharaoh skin.
And I have hauler joints, which lets me walk longer and further.
Yeah.
Allows me to carry 2 extra pieces of equipment and travel 4 hours longer a day in my unaugmented body would normally allow.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to push me around.
Yeah, definitely. He's more machine now than man. That's really cool.
That's 14 slots, and I guess if we got into more than that,
push it real good.
Pushing it real good. I gotta have the goggles, you know.
So we're pushing it. Nice.
Yeah, we're pushing.
Yeah,
it.
why the hell not? Yeah,
why not? let's just take it to the limit.
Take it to the bridge.
We need somebody to test out those mechanics tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I guess I'll come. Well, you can come back to me, but I'm starting off with my
Because you've got like 24 slots now.
with the goggles.
Jeez.
Okay, so I guess we'll go to who's
I'm
anybody
ready.
wants to go? You want to go, Adam?
Yeah.
What's your dude's name, by the way?
My name is Clancy. Clancy Flywheel.
Oh man.
Clancy Flywheel. You had to do it.
Yep. I'm sticking completely to the mechanics section. Wheeljack is a maybe, depending on how Automus ends up looking by the end of it, because this is a simple mod that allows me to connect my mechanical parts directly into compatible vehicles. And while I'm driving that vehicle, I get plus 1 dice to driving checks. So depending on if we've got a vehicle in the team, I may take that one. But
is there a move that turns you into a vehicle?
You know what? No, but
There isn't. But I might allow you to do it.
There's a whole
you can
section
create
in the
your own.
rules about creating your own mods and how to adjust them and balance them.
If you've absolutely got your heart set on turning into some kind of clinky vehicle, Ernest, then
at the very least, like some wheels come down from my calves, and I can,
sure. You could be a Segway. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll come back to that last, and we'll homebrew something together.
Okay. So for 6 slots, I am definitely going to take the handyman. So that means one of my hands. We'll say that my left hand is. It looks completely metal. And it's called the Handyman. Takes 2 slots, and instead of having to wear a tool belt, I can just use my fingers to open up to like this wide variety of tools: screwdrivers, socket wrench, pliers, knives, even low power drills, spot welders. Mechanically, I will always have tools, and then also anytime I'm using those tools, I get plus 2 dice bonus to, which I'm realizing that I don't think we talked about like the mechanics of how like the checks in this game work.
I think we'll worry about that later.
Yeah,
we'll just try and build you guys up as characters, and fit you into the world first.
So just remember whenever I use my hand tools. It's a good one. Whenever I use my hand tools, I get plus 2 dice to it. I was dead set on a plas cutter hand, thinking that I only got 4 slots. But now remembering that I get 6 slots, I've actually now dropped down to wanting to get the wheeljack for my second one. Probably.
Alrighty. Yeah.
Which will, let me, if I'm driving something, I can like interface with the vehicle and get plus 1 dice. And then for my last one, I'm between 2, and I would maybe like to lean on my party to see. I can either do quick fix or triage. They're both very cool.
Actually, I'm gonna say quick fix because I got some parts in me, and there it's a problem.
Yeah. So what quick fix does means that I can, over the course of the day, I can make a single dose of this. It's kind of like an injection, like probably like some kind of like WD-40 or something that if I apply it to a diesel, aka the one that's full diesel nearly, it targets problem spots, and I can kickstart them, allowing the diesel to ignore 1 or 2 malfunctions for the next 8 hours. And I'm thinking that Ernest may be malfunctioning.
You might be literally kickstarting him.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that. So I will do. I'll do handyman.
Just twist his ear to the throttle.
I'm gonna do handyman, quick fix, and wheeljack, and that will be my 6.
Handyman, quick fix, and wheeljack. All right. Well, boy, howdy, that sure sounds like a lot of fun. Honk. Who's up next?
I've got a bunch, but I got a plan.
Okay.
So, Meg's got her first mod was the transmitter. and she got that along with her parents when she was about just over 2 years old, just as she was starting to be verbal. And it lets you have a built-in radio transmitter in your head, so you can transmit your speech and tune to specific frequencies of a thought.
Wow.
So she and her
she's
parents all
had
had
that
these.
since she was 2.
Yep.
Wow, that must
That
have
was her
been
first.
overwhelming.
Thanks, Dr.
Yeah.
Titanium.
And not too long after that, she got a little bit more input into what she wanted, and the next one she went with was joint pivots.
Okay.
So she can,
Okay.
she can flex in ways that let her move into tight spaces, bend your body in unexpected ways, and entertain or gross out other kids, which was totally what she did.
Yep, definitely.
Then she ended up with the sprinter legs.
Ah.
It almost entirely replaces the legs from the knees down.
Uh-huh.
But they let you cover short distances at breakneck speed. As she got a little bit older, she got the goggles, which basically replaced the top part of her face with a bulky metal frame with thick smoked glass. Lets you do all sorts of things that you normally get smacked for, like staring into the sun or welding without protective gear. She then got some pharaoh skin. So her skin
Cool.
is now woven together with the tight lace of metal, which gives her some armor.
Yep.
She went with the dropper. It gives her directional audio amplification. So
The
if you-
eavesdropper. Yes.
Yeah.
I read
If you
that
can
one.
do
Yeah, filters
conversation.
out background noise and stuff.
Yep.
Yes, very cool.
And the latest thing she went with was the finger guns. So it was her middle finger,
Yes.
and it's not a strong gun, but it is right there. Single shot, small caliber.
Yeah.
Eye
It's
in
like a
it.
little derringer installed in your middle fingers there.
I was actually thinking, like, surely we're probably going to get into some fights tomorrow. Probably a fight at least. And then I was starting
Well,
to
like I
think-
said, it depends on what you do on your trip to Grandma's house.
That's true. But yeah, I was just starting to think. I know that Dr. Titanium has her arm blade. Actually, there is an equipment section. I just realized I was.
The sure shit is.
Sure as shit is. So maybe that's how. Because I was thinking I don't have any weapons yet, but I forgot about the equipment section, which we'll. Get
Yeah,
to.
you get an amount of equipment.
You can have like real guns.
Yep, you sure can. Sure shit can.
Steel sword.
Okay. Jeremy, you got your mods worked out yet?
I do.
Cool.
All right,
Let's
so
do it.
the first one for Merrick is the pharaoh skin.
Yep.
When so I don't know how much you want me to get into any story here, but when he was betrayed,
As much as you like.
well, so he used to be a corpo. He used to kind of work for this possibility company, and essentially, you know, they are like they are the reason for like the whole universe. Like their technology is what makes life what it is, but at the same time, they're pretty corrupt. And there's this other
Fantastically corrupt. Yeah.
there's this other group that was kind of like, I don't know, they're like a whole bunch of like outlanders who were trying to like cause trouble, basically what we're doing now. And well, we were going to put a stop to them. And so I was involved in this like this
like a
situation.
union dispute or something.
Well, we were involved in like a more like an undercover sting where we were going to get them all arrested. But what it turns out is what I thought was like a mic essentially to get evidence on them was actually a bomb, and they were willing to sacrifice.
Oh man.
They were
That's
willing
rough.
to sacrifice me as the carrier, as this undercover agent, and it nearly killed me. And it burned most of my body, destroyed my jaw, things like that, destroyed a lot of this part. And now that I realize, like, wow, they're sons of bitches, I want to get back at them. Well, the first thing just to save my life was this pharaoh skin. So this pharaoh skin is kind of what allowed, like my organs were kind of okay, but like if I didn't get medical care fast enough, I definitely would have died. And so they use this ferroskin modification to kind of save me. So I have ferroskin, which gives me a little bit of armor. And then I also have this arm cannon, which is something I had prior to the incident. So I put 4 points into arm cannon.
I was hoping somebody would.
Fuck yeah, somebody had to do it.
Which is a ridiculously heavy armor mod that's like my whole arm.
Just picture you fucking dragging it around.
I'm basically I'm like Mega Man, so I like just have this blaster
fucking
arm.
lay it on your Segway friend, let him drive it around.
I'm thinking I have like a hand, but then it like and it just turns into blaster arm, and then I can switch it back to a hand.
Maybe you could like put it on your back or something, like when you're carrying it around.
I don't know. I mean, it's an arm.
It's his arm.
It's a blaster. Just imagine Mega Man, like it's got like a blaster on the end.
Yeah, it's like Mega Man or Barret from Final Fantasy.
I can like
VII
put on a
something.
hand attachment.
It
I'll
reminds
have
me of
hands.
Cyborg.
Yeah, like
actually.
Cyborg,
Yeah,
Mega
where
Man,
his arm
Barret.
just turns into the
So that's where I'm at because I'm not them two, so I'm out of mods at that point. You only get 2.
Yeah, man, that's cool.
Same.
I
All right,
love that we've got a varying because Danny, you've got
Okay.
which organics? Just 3?
3.
3.
So I've got 14 mod points.
And Ernest, you're going all the way down to 2?
Yep.
Nice.
Right, let's have a look. Let's have a look at this designing mods section.
Yeah. So I've got some slots open. I decided to go with the goggles, hammer fist, and then a ramjet arm, so I can big O punch someone.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Gonna stay behind that guy.
So there's goggles, hammer fist, ramjet.
Yeah, it's you can burn. Actually, you can burn all your fuel just to super punch someone.
Wow.
As you know, this rocket goes off in your arm and you slam into someone.
It's One Punch Man.
Let's have a okay. So did you still want to do your transforming vehicle?
Yeah. So
thing?
I actually still have like some. I mean, right now I've got like this is 19 slots. So yeah.
Okay. How many do you have left?
5.
5. Okay. Do you want to spend all of those on like one super duper vehicle mod?
What you got? Tell me what you got.
Well, let's have, we'll run through the list and how we're supposed to like.
Yeah, the section of
Price
making
it.
your own.
So, as it says, as written, it is entirely reasonable that you might want to design your own mods that do something different from those listed here. That's good. It sure is, because who doesn't want to be a transformer?
Because we need Optimus Prime to literally be a transformer.
Possibility is not restricted by lists of what can be done, because possibility is possible. The mods listed above are prefab constructions that you can expect to find available for purchase, but half mad, half insane machinists working in dimly lit garage shops put together all sorts of constructions. So your mod will cost slots equal to the resultant value of the following. So has a cool major, and turning into a car, I would suggest, is a major or unique effect. It would be +2 to value.
Okay.
If you want an integrated weapon of some kind, that would be... I mean, would you want, like, mounted
Like a
weapons?
chain gun mounted on the engine?
I guess the thing with that is that it wouldn't just disappear when you turn back into a person. You could just be like War Machine and have some kind of shoulder-mounted chain gun or something. But that would be, if you wanted a big weapon, that's another 2 value.
Okay.
You can get various different buffs, so it'd be a dice bonus of X number of dice in a limited area, which would be a value equal to the dice bonus that you want on certain rolls. I don't know, say if you wanted like a boost to speed, we could say that that's some sort of nitrous injector or
Sure,
a
yeah,
turbocharger
yeah.
or something like that.
Oh, that'd be cool.
If you want some, and then the other things we can do, adding an additional point of armor or guard, metal or meat.
So yeah, I think the each cool major or unique effect is a plus with a +2.
It's
I think
+2.
that is turning into his own vehicle, right?
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. So you've got your +2 from that. If you
Yep.
want then the chain gun as well, that's another +2, so that's 4. and then you've got 1 slot left, right?
Yeah.
So we could give you a dice bonus, say, of 1 in a limited area around the car to your speed. Or dexterity? Would that
Or
work?
there's
How would
also
that
the
work?
each cool minor effect is +1, like maybe some cool flames.
Oh, you could have some
cool flames
could
painted
have,
down the side. Or plus
yeah, you could have some. You could have a neon kit installed.
some fucking underlighting on the car.
Yeah.
Some
That'd be a
cool,
little
a
minor
cool
effect.
sound system.
Yeah, you could. A sound system would work. Why not? Yeah, if you wanted that.
Yeah. So I'm definitely down with
Up
the.
to you. I don't want to. I
yeah.
don't want to put you in a box.
Yeah,
You choose.
I definitely want to do the +2 value for the cool or unique effect. I actually don't want a gun, but maybe like an extra point of metal or guard, since I have all these extra parts of me that kind of like fold up inside of me to let me be a
Makes
car.
sense. Well, you've got crumple zones, right? You're a car.
Yeah, or like I crumple, so I'm like
So you get an extra. I will say extra point of guard, right? I think that makes sense thematically.
yeah.
So you can turn into a car, and you get an extra point of guard owing to the additional car pieces,
Right.
bits of bodywork or whatever that are not integral to your personal chassis. Okay, yeah, beautiful. And then that was 4 points. We've got 1 left.
Yeah, let's just get that speed bonus.
Okay, so we'll say you've got a bonus to your dex. Dice bonus of 1 one dice in a limited area and a broad area.
Yeah.
So you can have a little turbo boost when you are a car.
What's this car look like? Like a fucking Honda Accord?
That's up to Ernest. I guess it's going to seat 4, right?
Yeah, it's got a seat 4.
Or at least perch. 4 of you can perch on it.
What I'm thinking is that kind of like it's kind of like a Star Wars style like skiff, like like it's like basically like my jacket could come off and like my back folds down into like a platform, and then we're kind of like rolling on wheels and that, but I'm still kind of in the front.
Is your face somewhere?
Just like your face and torso, just like.
Well, yeah, it's almost like I'm a
Turbo
masthead.
Teen.
Yeah, I like Turbo Teen.
Yeah, exactly. I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like my upper. Yeah, it's almost like my upper torso is like a masthead, but all the car stuff kind of folds out of the back, so it's kind of like, oh, this is just some guy who's kind of, oh, what the hell is that?
It's like a fucking car. What? Wow. I mean, what kind
I posted
of,
it. I posted it in chat for anybody curious. Is how I'm picturing it now.
Yeah, I know Turbo
Oh, I'm
Teen,
so
yeah.
scared.
Yeah.
Just fucking
So you're like,
sticking out of the hood.
so basically your legs and ass turn into a Pontiac Firebird.
I mean, more Star Warsy, but if Adam has a weird derangement where I look like a Pontiac Firebird, we can just go roll with that. He's like, oh yeah, it's my old T-bird. Like,
I'm
crying. I'm crying right now, picturing this whole team.
this motley crew like just turning up with their friend who's a part 80s bad boy car.
I'm already seeing so many explosions tomorrow night. If
Oh wow.
if we're good on everybody's mods, and if everybody needs, we could go ahead and take just a couple minute bio
don't
break
mind,
for
I could get another
everybody. Drink refill. Okay, cool. So yeah, everybody, we will be back in like just a few minutes, less than 5, surely or hopefully.
all right,
I love you, Ernest. You're amazing.
Yeah, I can't wait. I cannot wait till tomorrow night. It really sucks that we gotta wait 23 hours now, but it'll be worth
It's
it. I
fine.
promise.
It'll be a great experience.
Yep, it'll be worth it. We'll be right back, everybody, to finish talk about the mechanics of the
Right.
system, and there may be a couple more. Oh yeah, we've got character questions still. Ooh,
Hell
yeah,
we've
very
got
excited.
some bits to
I've
come,
been thinking about those. Why did my crazy parents do this to me?
Yeah.
Why'd they need a car?
We'll be right back, everybody. And I think the second half is gonna. Yeah, they should have made you a fucking minivan then, man.
I know,
we'll be right
right?
back.
Jesus Christ, stop it.
In a world where adventure awaits and danger lurks around every corner, an unlikely group of friends find themselves on the path to becoming heroes. But school will only get them halfway. Merlin, the human warlock barber guy.
Oh god, no, I gotta buff his butt. No. Can I refuse business?
Ubo, the turtle artificer.
Well, it doesn't work yet, but I'm working on it.
Ultrex, the discarded warforged paladin.
I don't eat or sleep or wear clothes, so I just sit in the corner and wait.
And Clyde, the Goliath barbarian in skinny jeans.
They're called skinny pelts, okay?
Find us on iTunes or wherever you download your podcast by searching for Halfway to Heroes.
Yeehaw! Welcome everybody to Shitty Cowboys. What in tarnation is Shitty Cowboys? We're an actual play Dungeons & Dragons bi-weekly Twitch stream and podcast set in the West Hollow setting. That's right, it's Dungeons and Dragons and Cowboys. What else more could you ask for? Follow Sean Marston and Jambalaya Pendergrass as they travel across West Hollow and get into some cowboy trouble. Find us on Twitch at twitch.tv/OneShotOnslaught every other Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and every other Wednesday wherever you get your podcast. Now go on, get to subscribing.
From the city that brought you Kentucky Fried Chicken comes Roll for Weird, a Monster of the Week actual play podcast. Join Philbert Fogel, Doomsday Prepper, and Expert.
I mean, I'm kind of like the linchpin that's keeping everything together.
Lasath, the Divine.
And I still owe him my life, so I would have to end yours. It would be a mess.
Shadow, the Edgy Initiate.
I trust him with my life. I don't know if I trust him with my car.
Misty Charlotte Palladino, Spellslinger.
But I haven't set anything on fire that I haven't meant to set on fire.
Silas Lancaster, Elderly Vampire.
They broke the mold when they made Filbert.
Roll for Weird on Twitch, streaming monthly. New podcast episodes every other Friday.
Hey everyone, it's your Dungeon Master Adam here to tell you all about One Shot Onslaught. We are an actual play D&D 5e podcast that even follows some of the rules.
Rules? No one said there'd be rules.
We play through popular one-shot modules from DMsGuild.com so that you can drop in at any episode. We have Lord Sean Snow, the hero's hero, who is a 140-year-old human wizard.
I cast magic and missile up its butthole!
Death, the tiefling rogue who only eats raw meat.
Did somebody say meat?
The dwarf druid Ironclaw who loves nature almost as much as he loves oatmeal.
Cinnamon oatmeal, or get the F out.
And last but not least, we have Ted, the tiefling bard who loves to jam out on his magic guitar and skadoosh on his magic flying broom.
Skadoosh.
Find us wherever you download your podcast and follow us on all social media at One Shot Onslaught.
I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Gerundu.
And we are the hosts of Majestic Goose's newest podcast, Dice Talk. Dice Talk is a Dungeons & Dragons and tabletop podcast that dives into the deep topics of tabletop role-playing games.
Join us as we speak with passionate content creators, podcasters, authors, and more as we discuss all manner of tabletop and geek-related content.
Dice Talk is a bi-weekly show, so we're hitting your podcatcher with brand new episodes every other week, filling your ears with exclusive interviews and conversations that you can't find anywhere else.
Every episode is a new opportunity to hear from different creators in the tabletop community and just talk about Dungeons & Dragons and any other tabletop games that have made us who we are.
Dice Talk, now on the Majestic Goose Podcast Network. Make sure you check us out and subscribe so you never miss an episode.
A Majestic Goose Podcast.
In a world where adventure awaits and danger lurks around every corner, an unlikely group of friends find themselves on the path to becoming heroes. But school will only get them halfway. Merlin, the human warlock barber guy.
Oh god, no, I gotta buff his butt! No! Can I refuse business?
Ubo, the turtle artificer.
Well, it doesn't work yet, but I'm working on it.
Ultrex, the discarded warforged paladin.
I don't eat or sleep or wear clothes, so I just sit in the corner and wait.
And Clyde, the Goliath barbarian in skinny jeans.
They're called skinny pelts, okay?
Find us on iTunes or wherever you download your podcast by searching for Halfway to Heroes.
Yeehaw! Welcome everybody to Shitty Cowboys. What in tarnation is Shitty Cowboys? We're an actual play Dungeons & Dragons bi-weekly Twitch stream and podcast set in the West Hollow setting. That's right, it's Dungeons and Dragons and Cowboys. What else more could you ask for? Follow Sean Marston and Jambalaya Pendergrass as they travel across West Hollow and get into some cowboy trouble. Find us on Twitch at twitch.tv/OneShotOnslaught every other Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and every other Wednesday wherever you get your podcast. Now go on, get to subscribing.
From the city that brought you Kentucky Fried Chicken comes Roll for Weird, a Monster of the Week actual play podcast. Join Philbert Fogel, Doomsday Prepper and Expert.
I mean, I'm kind of like the linchpin that's keeping everything together.
Lasath, the Divine.
And I still owe him my life, so I would have to end yours. It would be a mess.
Shadow, the Edgy Initiate.
I trust him with my life. I don't know if I trust him with my car.
Misty Charlotte Palladino, Spellslinger.
But I haven't set anything on fire that I haven't meant to set on fire.
Silas Lancaster, Elderly Vampire.
They broke the mold when they made Filbert.
Roll for Weird on Twitch, streaming monthly. New podcast episodes every other Friday.
Hey everyone, it's your Dungeon Master Adam here to tell you all about One Shot Onslaught. We are an actual play D&D 5e podcast that even follows some of the rules.
Rules? No one said there'd be rules.
We play through popular one-shot modules from DMsGuild.com so that you can drop in at any episode. We have Lord Sean Snow, the hero's hero, who is a 140-year-old human wizard.
I cast magic and missile up its butthole!
Death, the tiefling rogue who only eats raw meat.
Did somebody say meat?
The dwarf druid Ironclaw who loves nature almost as much as he loves oatmeal.
Cinnamon oatmeal, or get the F out.
And last but not least, we have Ted, the tiefling bard who loves to jam out on his magic guitar and skadoosh on his magic flying broom.
Skadoosh.
Find us wherever you download your podcast and follow us on all social media at One Shot Onslaught.
I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Gerundu.
And we are the hosts of Majestic Goose's newest podcast, Dice Talk. Dice Talk is a Dungeons & Dragons and tabletop podcast that dives into the deep topics of tabletop role-playing games.
Join us as we speak with passionate content creators, podcasters, authors, and more as we discuss all manner of tabletop and geek-related content.
Dice Talk is a bi-weekly show, so we're hitting your podcatcher with brand new episodes every other week, filling your ears with exclusive interviews and conversations that you can't find anywhere else.
Every episode is a new opportunity to hear from different creators in the tabletop community and just talk about Dungeons & Dragons and any other tabletop games that have made us who we are.
Dice Talk, now on the Majestic Goose Podcast Network. Make sure you check us out and subscribe so you never miss an episode.
A Majestic Goose Podcast.
In a world where adventure awaits and danger lurks around every corner, an unlikely group of friends find themselves on the path to becoming heroes. But school will only get them halfway. Merlin, the human warlock barber guy.
Oh god, no, I gotta buff his butt! No! Can I refuse business?
Ubo, the Turtle Artificer.
Well, it doesn't work yet, but I'm working on it.
Ultrex, the discarded Warforged Paladin.
I don't eat or sleep or wear clothes, so I just sit in the corner and wait.
And Clyde, the Goliath Barbarian in skinny jeans.
They're called skinny pelts, okay?
Find us on iTunes or wherever you download your podcast by searching for Halfway to Heroes.
Yeehaw! Welcome everybody to Shitty Cowboys. What in tarnation is Shitty Cowboys? We're an actual play Dungeons & Dragons bi-weekly Twitch stream and podcast set in the West Hollow setting. That's right, it's Dungeons and Dragons and Cowboys. What else more could you ask for? Follow Sean Marston and Jambalaya Pendergrass as they travel across West Hollow and get into some cowboy trouble. Find us on Twitch at twitch.tv/OneShotOnslaught every other Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and every other Wednesday wherever you get your podcast. Now go on, get to subscribing.
From the city that brought you Kentucky Fried Chicken comes Roll for Weird, a Monster of the Week actual play podcast. Join Philbert Fogel, Doomsday Prepper and Expert.
I mean, I'm kind of like the linchpin that's keeping everything together.
Lasath, the Divine.
And I still owe him my life, so I would have to end yours. It would be a mess.
Shadow, the Edgy Initiate.
I trust him with my life. I don't know if I trust him with my car.
Misty Charlotte Palladino, Spellslinger.
But I haven't said anything.
Welcome back, everybody. Gerundu, what's the next step in this character creation process?
Well, I think what we're going to do now is we're going to go through and ask some more detailed questions. I mean, we went through a little bit of an overview to get an idea of your guys' backgrounds and motivations for doing adventures and so on. But we're going to go.
Start that, Gerundu. How does armor work? Is it if you take mods that have armor?
Yes, but there's also equipment that you can take. I guess we didn't do that, did we?
No, I'm sorry. I was just like, I didn't want to jump into questions and forget about that as well.
No, that's fine. I think we should probably do that first, I guess. Fill in your equipment and stuff. Let me look at that. Sorry.
While you look for that,
yeah,
I
you
do want
to play for time.
I will. I want to point out a mechanic I really like in the system called overclocking, which I'm sure is going to come into play tomorrow. It's very cool. It's kind of like a push your luck system, where before you make a roll that uses one or more of your mods, you can declare that you're going to overclock it and push your implants to the limits by overclocking them. And you can add a number of dice equal to the amount provided by your mods to a max of 3. But all 3 of those are then considered malfunction dice. And what malfunction dice are is they're pretty much that if you roll a 1 on any of those malfunction dice, so like tomorrow while we're playing, I think the easiest way for us to do this will probably be us all using Roll20. And we'll do them separately. Like we'll do, if you've got 3 regular dice you're going to roll, you roll those. And then if you got 3 malfunction dice, then you roll them separately. Because if you roll a 1 on any malfunction dice, those mods just fucking go haywire. There's a couple different things. Some have specific malfunctions they can do. Some are left up to Gerundu's imagination, which wouldn't be fun for anybody but Gerundu. And the audience, I'm sure.
And I'm extremely selfish, so you want to watch out for that.
So yeah, I just really like that mechanic, and since we're kind of we're starting to flow into the mechanic side of things, and I just wanted to point that out. Did you find? Do I need to put?
I did.
Okay, I was gonna say because I've got another thing, the malfunction. I was gonna read that.
Oh, you shut your goddamn mouth. We'll get into that in a minute. Yeah, I'm wearing the daddy pants today, so.
Whoa.
That's
Why?
right.
I'm gonna have to throw an X up for that. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, that's it, exactly. Leather daddy, right?
Oh.
To answer your question, DB, yes, I am a daddy. And also, your equipment, how much equipment you can carry is equal to your bronze score.
Oh, so not a lot.
So not very much for you, but you do have pretty cool stuff. Equipment is down towards the example equipment, I guess. But
again, if we're in the quick play, I think there's less equipment than if we're in the Google Doc.
But I'll tell you what we will do then is, I guess we will. You tell me what kind of thing you want, and I'll have a look through the list.
Okay. So if I've got 3 brawn, it's so you mentioned you can carry anything, but I mean I see like giant firearm. So that surely wouldn't take up just 1 brawn, right?
Okay, so small weapons can be carried freely.
Oh, cool.
But any weapon of medium size or larger not provided by a mod counts as a piece of equipment. And a giant weapon is beyond reasonably carrying around with you.
Okay, so I can't carry a fucking tank turret on my shoulder.
No, no.
Gotcha, and that's what giant... Okay, cool. That makes sense. Okay. So if I can carry 3 pieces, not counting small firearms... Is anybody ready to go with their...
I know for sure that I probably carry a med pack or to help out with more organic.
Okay. Yeah. There are rules for that listed. So we've got a med kit here. Yeah. A high quality and very thorough first aid kit. You get plus 2 dice to checks made to stabilize people. If you use your medkit to treat someone, they recover 1 additional meat when they rest next. So stabilization works in much the same way as it does in D&D. If you're reduced to 0 hit points or lower, you are bleeding out, and you will need to be stabilized to not die, essentially. So medkit will give you an additional 2 dice to any checks made to stop people from dying.
Okay.
So that's 1 of your pieces of equipment.
Yeah.
Do you want me to give you some examples?
Yeah, because I'm not really sure what she would carry because.
Okay. Well, there's something like a security gear, so badges and uniforms and other standard issue security gear. I mean, that says this sort of implies that you'd be a security guard, but I think if you've got a security badge and you work inside a corporate office or facility, that would give you plus 2 dice to personality checks where authority might help.
That might help for
as you're representing the correct authority. So you're as a corporate person, you would
doctors have badges and stuff like that too. So.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I guess we could maybe use that as 1 of your pieces of equipment, and that would give you plus 2 dice to any personality checks relevant to that institution. Do you have any more slots?
I only have 2 brawn, so
2. I think that those probably make the most sense.
Yeah.
Based on what we know about your character so far.
I don't need a weapon because I have 1.
Oh, you have a big old sword in your arm, yeah.
I mean,
Okey-dokey.
DB, I don't know if you think this makes sense for your character or not, but I think you could take like a small pistol. For free, right?
You could just take 1 freely if you wanted one.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea as well.
Okay. I mean, that can basically
It only gets 1 shot at close range before needing... What kind of fucking pistol is that?
That's just the ones that's built into your hands, but they don't count.
That's palm pistol, and then there's revolver that's also small, and that's a...
Yeah, they don't count. So these can basically take whatever form you like. It's a small handgun.
Yeah. I think it also makes sense for her to have that just for
personal protection,
safety, because there are people out in the world that are a little Crazy.
fucking looking
Yeah,
at
sure,
us
it's a
other
little-
four.
It's old faithful standby, and that will do 1 point of damage. Okay.
I'll heal you, but I'll also shoot you.
I'll shoot you, motherfucker. Who's
Anybody else ready?
next?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So Merrick, who used to be part of the corpos, he's got he knows that if you want to get things done, you need to be pretty sneaky about it, because if they catch you, I mean, they're strong enough and they've got enough resources, you're probably going to get killed. So he's got a sneak suit for sure. So I got the sneak suit going on. And
Yep, so that's plus two dice on rolls to hide and sneak around.
I also went for the macro binocular goggles. So, if I need them, I can go ahead and pull up my goggles and put them on. And that allows me to detect infrared, radio, and electromagnetic waves. So I can, I mean, what's that come down to? Can I see through walls and kind of see, heat signatures? How in depth does that go? Infrared. I mean, what's that mean? Maybe one wall, but not two?
I think predator vision, maybe thin walls you might be able to see through, but anything made out of concrete or bricks, you're probably not going to be able to see through. But say someone's hiding behind an interior wall that's just sheetrock.
Now, for my third one, I took a radio pack, but if there is instead of that, if there's an option that maybe I can using my mask, which allows me to produce normal voice, can I copy and mimic a different voice with this mechanical device instead of the radio pack? Is there something like that?
I think mechanically what that would be doing is to give you 2 dice on personality checks,
kind of like the security stuff,
relevant to deceiving people, right?
So instead of going with the radio pack, go for it's I can alter the voice that my equipment is producing, and instead of producing my own, produce something I just heard or attempt.
Yeah. So what we'll do mechanically, what we're going to do is call that. Yeah, you can have that, and we'll say that is plus 2 dice on checks to deceive.
Using vocal.
Using your vocals. So checks over the radio. If you're trying to do a Han Solo, everything's fine here. No, okay. How are you? Then yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, I just figured since I have this to allow me to speak, I could modulate it.
Yeah, makes sense. I like it. Yeah.
I'll just call it voice modulator.
Yep, that works for me.
Plus 2 to deceive using vocals. Plus 2 dice.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Anything else?
And I only get 3 equipment because I only have 3 What was it based on?
Brawn.
Yeah, I got 3 brawn, so that's it.
Okay, cool.
I've got mine ready.
Yeah.
So I want to get some fuel tanks. I want to carry around some fuel tanks. I also want a crowbar, which is a medium melee weapon.
Okay, yeah.
And then for my final thing, I'm going to actually grab some medium armor. I'm thinking it says homemade chainmail. And I kind of think like that, but not actually looking like chainmail, but I think it's just kind of homemade pieces of scrap metal. I've kind of...
Raider armor in Fallout.
Yeah, pieced together myself to try to not die.
Yeah, a mixture of leather and webbing and bits of scrap metal and stuff.
So, crowbar, medium homemade armor, and the fuel tanks.
Alright, Brill, yeah, I like it. Who's next?
I just, heavy armor, fuel tanks. That's it.
Alright, yeah, makes sense too. You got most of your stuff built into you. Okay. Danny, I think.
Given what Megs tends to do, I'm thinking a sneak suit.
Okay, yeah.
Climbing kit.
Mm-hmm.
And a big old knife.
Big old knife. All right. Well,
Is your armor literally just whatever your armor you've got is? So it says unarmored is 1, light armored, which you can get for free. So anybody who hasn't.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything.
Armor.
Oh,
It says,
I will take light armor.
yeah,
then.
it says 1+. I'm not sure what that means. Because it goes unarmored 1, light armor 1+, and then medium armor 2. So I don't know what the 1+ means.
Have a scroll through.
Maybe it's the unarmored plus armored kind of thing.
Oh, it is. It says these outfits. Yeah, somebody just highlighted it. These outfits are a little better than ordinary clothing, but a little less than armor. Preferred by outlaw. You have +1 dice on checks to endure environmental hazards, and you also have 2 armor against unmodified, unarmored attacks, improvised weapons, and animals. It will protect you from a wild dog bite, but a bullet doesn't care for a bit about padding.
Can you drop that in our private chat just so that I have
Yes,
that
I can.
Thank you.
So it's padding, essentially. It'd be like stuff you might have in your motorcycle jacket. Or,
It's probably going to be more on Drundu to justify what damage gets through that. I think that's kind of more GM
Sure,
discretion.
I mean, but like as it's described, it's like essentially like padding. So it'll protect you from like a dog bite or being punched, or it might offer you some protection from even being cut or stabbed. But a bullet, we're just going to pass straight through it. Certainly, padded armor can stop you from being cut. It's less effective against puncture wounds. So I think blunt weapons, unarmed attacks, and light. You have 2 armor. You're considered to have 2 armor against unarmed attacks, improvised weapons, and animals. So there. And then medium armor, you have 2 armor regardless. If that makes sense. So you're essentially your armor score and your guard are what are going to negate incoming damage when we're fighting. Everybody happy with that?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Is that everybody's gear?
Yeah.
I think it is, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, I think that was everything, wasn't it? It was all the equipment. There's stuff about possibility, but I don't think we're going to need to worry about that too much for our purposes. I don't think we're going to be getting too deeply into using possibility, because I just want to tell an interesting little action-filled story.
I think my character sheet's like
full,
finalized
right?
now. I believe
Yeah,
it's
pretty much.
full.
Yeah. So now it's time to go through, do our favorite bits of any.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Any other game that like we play, so, say like Powered by the Apocalypse games, this is always like our favorite part, where we ask questions of each other to determine our little backgrounds and things like that. So let me just pull up some sample questions because my mind has just gone completely blank. So I guess. Okay. Adam, aka Clancy Flywheel. What does Clancy look like? Does he have any distinguishing features other than his radar armor?
Yeah, so Clancy, the first thing you would probably notice about Clancy is, so this is a different Clancy than NBA Clancy, by the way. It just happens to share the same name.
Common name.
Because I picture...
No way, you can't pull that now.
Well, I picture NBA Clancy to be a lot
Bullshit.
younger, like a nephew intern. But this
but
Clancy...
it's the future where he's been modified.
Okay, well then maybe it is, because...
all
Okay,
his
then this
mistakes
is...
have been realized.
Okay,
Clancy
well...
all grown up.
This isn't grown-up Clancy, this is fucking old-ass Clancy, because this Clancy is... if you picture a cartoon prospector, that's what he looks like. He's got a stringy white beard that goes down to his knees.
Oh my god, he's definitely...
Yeah, that's pretty distinguishing.
Yeah, that's the first thing you'll notice about him. However, it's only about 6 inches from his chin to his knees. No, that's not right. That's but he is very compact, not very tall. He is just a weather-beaten complexion on his face. Definitely spent a lot of time out on the edge and in the direct sunlight. A lot of time wandering around in the vast expanses of the desert. And then the second thing you would notice, after that beard, would probably be his fucking mechanical hand. Yeah, he usually wears just blue jean overalls and nothing else at all. Barefoot, bare everything except the blue jean overalls and a wide-brimmed old leather hat that he's very fond of. And if anybody fucking touches that hat, I swear to God, Clancy swears to God.
All right, I'm just gonna go in order that I've got you guys written down. Merrick, Jeremy as Merrick. Question for you. If you just met Clancy, what would be your first impressions of him?
Pawn.
Corporate pawn.
I think he's a pawn. I think he's a. I think immediately I was like, okay, this guy seems useful. I could probably take down those corporate bastards using this guy. Maybe after hanging out with him a while, I might start to like him. Like I said, I think like retrospectively, or if I took a moment to think about it, I don't want to hurt these people. I mean, they're cool and whatever, and they have the same goal in mind as I do. But in like the situation, like if I could take down the whole fucking empire with like, you know, and it ends up being all of our deaths to take down this whole giant corporate monster, that's when I'm saying like in the moment he might do something a little rash. I think like if I'm really thinking about it, I don't want to do those things, but I would if it means something that would make a really big impact on the world as a whole. So I think, you know, I like Clancy, but, you know, he's a pawn. Like, my initial reaction when I first met him was he seems useful. Maybe I like him, you know, after I get to know him. But at first, it's like he's just a tool to get the job done.
Excellent.
That's fair.
Okay, Automac. I think we're going to... I'm desperate to ask you this question. Which mod is the most meaningful to you and why?
Oh. Fucking choices. I think you're muted.
It's definitely the redundant systems, because it's the only thing that shows my parents actually cared.
Oh my goodness. My heart.
Oh my God.
As they, you know, for all the things that they did to replace the pieces and parts inside of me to realize their goal of full diesel, the only thing that seemed like actual care was the redundant systems. At least that's the way he sees it.
Oh, that's really nice. Well, it's also terrifying, but
yeah.
But there we go. Always looking for a silver lining. Mags. What vice or virtue do you most embody, and which do you most hate?
That is tough.
That's a deep question, right?
Ooh, I'm gonna go with indifference. Is really sort of her key feature. I guess it's a vice.
Sure. Well, it's kind of like a self-indulgence, isn't it? It's maintaining the pretense that you are apart, your person as an island, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's certainly as a character trait that it's like your aloofness.
Yeah, she I guess can also be somewhat selfish because of that. Comes off that way.
Okay. Yeah. I guess you've been the kind of the notion of your humanity not being tied to your mods is entirely valid, but if your sense of self has been sort of compromised out of your control since you were 2 years old, that's kind of going to have a warping effect on your ability to empathize with other people. Certainly people who are less augmented than yourself. Yeah, cool.
And I think what she most hates is going to be blind loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
Loyalty in and of itself is a little but especially
unquestioning loyalty
just because that's what they believe they should.
Yeah. Awesome. I like that answer. That was very good for a difficult question. Dr. Irina, have you experienced significant loss? And if so, how did it change you?
Yes, she has experienced significant loss. She lost a son a long time ago, and it was a diesel mod that didn't take. It wasn't her that did it, but it did, like, definitely showed her what we're doing isn't always the best thing that we're doing. But she's changed from it. She thinks more about, like, okay, well, if this person doesn't want this, I don't want to do this, but because the company is kind of like, no, you have to do this, it's conflicting sometimes.
Okay, I like that. I'm going to go into branch off into some different interpersonal questions, I think, because we've kind of answered a lot of the other questions that are written down here. As good as they are, I would like to get more into how you guys know each other. I think that's the real fun part. Yeah. So we'll just go back round again, and this time we'll go for specifically more questions about how you guys know each other, how you met, and that sort of thing. So Clancy, dear sweet Clancy, who would you say is your closest friend out of the party, and why?
I think that Clancy gets along most with, saying however we all come together. Of us five, I think Clancy is going to bond the most with Optimus, which I will maybe get the name right tomorrow, because I know it's not Optimus.
Yeah, you bond so well with him that
I
you
bond so well with him that I
don't call him his right name.
I don't even know what the name is.
Well, they're so close that names don't matter.
What is it though?
It's a nickname. It's a little pet name.
Automac Prime. Automac Prime.
Automac
Primus.
Automac Primus. That's where I'm fucking up.
Yeah.
Pushing it all together.
Yeah. So I think I really think because usually Clancy's been a loner for decades now, just kind of out.
Not by choice.
Not by choice. Just like out.
Just so terrible.
out in the frontier, just as a loner. So whenever we all meet up, however we all meet up, Automac, I think, me being a mechanic in my past life, even before. I'm so old that I've kind of been around before diesels even took and had been a thing. Sure. Like I used to be like
it's only the last 20 or 30 years that they've been about.
So I used to be a regular ass mechanic, and then when diesels came about, I became a diesel mechanic. So Automac, I think, would be kind of the best touchstone for me to like a past life, a better life. And also I think he's a pretty fucking rad, being able to turn into a car.
I mean, I wasn't going to do this, but it's sort of I want to give everybody equal time, but this a natural sort of follow-up question from that, given Given Clancy's age, is he a veteran? Did he fight in the anything
No,
wars?
he did not fight. Like I said, like he used to just be one of the he was a small time, like he didn't even work for a shop or anything. He had his own small time home mechanic or home garage, where I would literally, it would be like a kind of like a Craigslist thing. It would be like, hey, you know, you bring your car literally to my house garage, I'll fix it for, you know, a couple $100, and then that's how I made a living. I never was into any kind of wars, military conflicts at all. And then after the corporation bought up my entire neighborhood and I kind of started wandering, that's when I kind of started. I realized that I could work on diesels, like usually like black market diesels that used like the shitty possibility. They would malfunction and they would not really be able to get into a reputable shop to work on. So I would work on those, and that's where I kind of made my money and just kind of wandered around as like a, you know, fixing up whoever I could find that needed, you know, enough money to at least give me some food.
Cool. Merrick. What is the most annoying personal habit of one of your compatriots, and who has that habit?
Well, I feel like but I don't even know because of Adam's confused me further on Ernest's character's actual name.
Automac. Now I've got it. I've
Primus.
fucking got it now. That I said he's my
Automac.
best friend.
He just has like a lot of mechanical things that annoy me, where like I'm just so used to like, even though like a lot of my body has become cybernetic in certain ways, like he just has like certain things that are so far from regular biological life that I'm just like, I don't know. It just makes me almost feel like, you know, why are we doing this? Like we got a job to do, you know, like things like charging and just like he doesn't eat, and like, you know, be like, oh, I got all this food for everybody, you know, it means nothing to him. Those types of things just
You're mad because you make fucking McDonald's runs and then he doesn't eat it.
And in this future, McDonald's is like Kobe beef, so it's like a big deal. No, I don't know. It's just
only because everything else is so crap.
What's Kobe beef like in this world?
I guess he just kind of like, I don't know. He was raised in a certain way to where he was so into the system that he didn't realize how corrupt they really were. And it was only after he got screwed over and almost killed that he hates them. But the more he got mixed in with groups that want to take down the corpos, he kind of realized how corrupt they really are. And then he just, you know, Automac over here, in his mind, he's like, look, Automac, like you were created from this corpo system. And like, he keeps realizing like just how different he is from like purely biological beings, but he's also contending with this idea of like, well, how different really is he? Because like, you know, his own body is about, you know, almost half or cybernetic itself.
Do you think there's some weird resentment because Automac looks more outwardly human?
Yeah, I feel like maybe he's like dealing with this deep-seated prejudice of like he's like, it's almost like he was prejudiced and now he's accepting Automac, you know, like as a person, and in his mind he's still trying to combat it, even though in his heart he's like, wow, me and him are basically the same, except he's actually appearing more human than myself.
He's projecting his own resentment of his perceived inhumanity onto Automac.
Exactly.
Wow, that's some fucking deep shit.
It's
wow.
like, so it's like growing up, he probably would have considered Automac subhuman. But now in the reality of the world he finds himself in, he's realizing Automac is in many ways more human than he himself is, and that's making him even more angry. And it's just making
at least he's at peace with who he is.
It's so complex that he he hates himself as a result of it. It's almost like if it wasn't for these cybernetic enhancements, he knows he would have died. and he himself, he feels almost like he's a recycled version of himself. And Automac is like more successful, even though he is a cybernetic being, and that just pisses him off, like internally.
God damn, what an answer that was. This is why I love these questions.
It's good.
I was
It's a lot food for thought.
I also have carburetor apnea, so I snore.
I was just thinking, like, I'm so pissed that this is a 2-shot, because like these characters are getting really fucking fleshed out.
Well, we'll see. Let's see how tomorrow goes. Eh?
Be careful, Drondy.
Yeah.
That's how Roll for Weird was born.
That's how Roll for
committing
Weird
to
happened. Yeah.
I'm not committing to anything. But we'll see.
Neither was I.
There might be random.
We haven't even played a game yet, so I'm definitely not committing myself to that. But
I'm excited.
Drondy's gonna edit a podcast.
We'll see. I'll have to learn to edit first.
Shit, we need a. Okay, well, I'll start while we go through the questions. I'll start brainstorming some
No,
podcast
Adam,
names.
you need to sleep like once a week.
Yeah, don't do that. Automac. I've got to think of a juicy question for you now. Which party member do you most admire? And why?
I probably admire Danielle's character the most.
Mags.
Yeah, Mags. Yeah, because she's lived a similar life and it's taken such a different direction. She can still live, and maybe she even has care for her parents. I don't know how deep into her life I can, I've seen, but she's a similar person with maybe even similar circumstances who has this completely different outlook on life. And while it's not the life I want to live personally, being very indifferent, and like there's also this kind of like sadness there, with the way she approaches things, but also this admiration.
Sweet. Yeah, I like that. Next up is Mags. And again, I've got to think of a juicy question for you. I think what I'm going to do after this round of questions is just rip ones from Monster of the Week.
Monster of the Week or Kids on Bikes.
And then we'll
like
build some. We'll build some interpersonal, interpersonal relationships.
So
and
I think
work out how you guys know each other.
Yeah, I think the next step would be to.
Because we need to know how you guys know each other, but
right.
Yeah. In the meantime, Mags, which of your friends has recently done something to make you very angry at them?
Oh.
And what was it?
Well, that's interesting because.
Not friendship endingly bad, but just something that's annoyed you recently that they've done.
But she doesn't really care a lot. It takes a lot to elicit any sort of emotions from her.
Maybe someone's accidentally pulled at an old wound, or reminded her of something she'd rather not be reminded of, or...
I think...
If you're struggling with that one, I can come up with something else, maybe. It's up to you.
I'm actually going to go with the doctor on this one.
Ooh. What'd she do?
She asked if I'm ready for another upgrade.
Uh-oh. Well, don't think much to your bedside manner, Dr. Irina.
Well, it's part of my parents' compensation package.
Sure. And that's a sore subject. Okay.
Oh God.
Anything else you'd like to add to that, or?
I mean, I think it's
don't feel obligated to, but yeah.
it's more that it's one more thing, and it's not easy to get these upgrades. It hurts.
Takes a physical toll, absolutely, and a psychological toll.
And there's a bit of a feeling that maybe it's not really an option.
Yeah, that you yourself are a commodity to be dealt with without your consent by shadowy figures beyond your control. Absolutely. Yeah, that's some.
I do want to just say I don't think Irina did it as like a hey, you have to get this.
No. It's just
it was definitely
a well-being
one of those
question.
Things. Yeah, it had been like a certain amount of time, and then she was like, "Let me ask if she's ready," because sometimes it's not an asking thing for her.
Right.
Not for Irina, but for
it's like this is
Matt.
eventually this is going to happen.
Yeah, but like I think Irina was like, "Do you want to do one?"
Yeah, trying to mitigate it. Are you physically ready for it?
Yeah.
Are you prepared for it?
But I think Mags also took it as a the fuck you talking about?
Yeah, she didn't take it very well.
Yeah, I get that. I don't think I didn't picture there being any malice about it. It's just a misunderstanding that's caused some momentary tension between the two of you.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that leaves you, Dr. Irina.
Okay.
Who have you had compromising feelings for in the past? Not necessarily romantic, just perhaps like an extreme empathy or desire to help that's put you at risk professionally as a corporate doctor.
I almost think it might be it's either going to be Mags or Jeremy. And I think Merrick. I think it might have been Merrick because I think she may have done the upgrades that saved his life. Kind of against like the corporate wanting her to. But she was like, no, this is a person that you guys fucked up and I'm going to fix it. Yeah. And it definitely at that time, she's a very good doctor. They don't want to lose her, but there was like here's a conversation we're going to have. And Merrick might not know this, but her pay was deducted because she did that without their permission.
Merrick is a person of means. Not Merrick. Dr. Irina is a person of means, I think we've established. Yeah. Comes from money, doesn't she? So
she does. Only because she's been a doctor for a while.
But nevertheless, it's well established. Let me have a quick look. Adam, can you like juggle or something for a couple of minutes while I just look up?
I do want to. Yeah, there's a couple other mechanical things that we haven't yet talked about, such as malfunctions. It's kind of going along the line of overclocking, but we didn't really talk about it that much. So, malfunction is when taking metal damage or otherwise damaging your mechanical parts leads to malfunction. So if you have malfunctions, which on the character sheet there's like a slot of like 6, I think, or 6 to 10 malfunction slots for you to mark down. If you have malfunctions in your tracker and you use your mods in a dice pool, you count the number of malfunctions you have marked and replace that many dice in your pool with malfunction dice. So that is where tomorrow night we will have to separate our rolls if you've got malfunction dice, and you will have to roll all your non-malfunction dice and then malfunction dice, because if you roll a 1 on any of your malfunction die, your mods go haywire, and even if the roll succeeds, something is going to go wrong in the process, and these malfunctions are removed from your tracker when you repair them. So I think myself and the doctor will be able to somewhat repair malfunctions. I think we will both have some options there, but yeah, so I definitely think Automac is going to be susceptible to quite a bit of malfunctions tomorrow night, and that's where overclocking. So that's when if you want to push your luck and get 3 more dice added to your dice pool when you roll with a mod. However, all 3 of those dice that you add will also be malfunction dice. So you're saying you're adding 3 die to your dice pool. However, if any of them have a 1, that mod will malfunction. And if I have to play for more time, I will talk about what the actual die.
If you wouldn't mind, I'm just going to screenshot something.
Yeah, I will say, just as a quick note to Gerundu, that because of at least one of my mods, my malfunctions can affect my internal organs.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, makes sense.
Yeah, the organopheric weave allows my malfunctions to affect lungs, heart, kidneys, that sort of thing. So
one last little paragraph I'll read real quick is this is actually a very core concept that we really do need to cover tonight before we get into tomorrow night's actual adventure, is the actual dice and checks. So Diesel uses a D6 dice pool. All you need is D6s. You don't need any other dice. And whenever you attempt to make an attack or a skill challenge, your GM, Gerundu, will ask us to roll a number of dice equal to the base stat. So if I've got 4 brawn, if I've got 3 brawn, which I do, I will roll those 3 D6s plus any appropriate modifiers for mods or equipment I've got. So if I'm using my crowbar, might add something if I'm doing that. But if I've got a mod,
say if you wanted to prise open a door, I would count your crowbar as an asset towards doing that.
And then what I do is Gerundu will have a DC, and there's a chart for a mundane check to near impossible check, and that's how many successes I need. So when I make that roll, each die in that pool that rolls a 4, 5, or 6 is a success. So if I've rolled enough to meet that number that Gerundu has mentally set, because I don't believe Gerundu in this system tells us in advance how many we need.
I mean, I might do for the first few, just so when we're going live and playing it, just to give an illustration of how the mechanics are working, how the sausage is made behind the scenes. Because I mean, that's really the point of us doing this.
So that's what the system is. If anybody, I can't believe we made it 2.5 hours in before we mentioned that it's only a D6 system. There's no other dice.
But I mean, there's a lot to unpack with the exciting stuff, which is just getting down to building your character.
We got a fucking car over here. I mean, there's been a lot. Everybody, don't blame us for not getting to the dice yet.
The actual the actual mechanical stuff, we're all going to be addressing that as we play tomorrow. Anyway, so if you're watching this now and you're thinking I haven't got a fucking clue how the actual game is played, don't worry about it.
We're all in the
tomorrow.
same boat. It's okay.
We're all going to go on a journey together. But for today, we're just trying to get a sense of what the world is and what our party's place in it is. And then I'm going to take all that away and then come back tomorrow with an adventure based on that, hopefully. But yes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a random playbook from the Monster of the Week for each of you, and then I'm going to rattle off a few options, and then you guys will get to pick from those and apply those backstory elements to whichever other party member you so desire. Give me a sec, because my phone's being a twat. Okay, we'll start with, speaking of twats, we'll start with Adam.
Okay, that makes sense.
So you've got the options I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you three to pick from. You can be blood relations with one of the other party members. One can be a rival at first, but you came to a working arrangement, or a romantic entanglement, perhaps one-sided.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
See how the worm turns.
I will say that myself and the doctor were probably right. Well, in my mind, was probably I viewed.
Oh, you've got related fields of expertise.
Yeah, I viewed them as a rival at first because though we both can work on diesels, I think our backgrounds approaching them were vastly different. Myself coming from working on literal cars and trucks prior, and the doctor being an actual doctor that I think, I think probably you were born like while diesels were around, right? So you probably like were trained.
You don't know.
I don't know. But either way, in Clancy's mind, I'm picturing like, you know, I'm kind of looking at the doctor like that they probably think that they're better than myself because they went to school.
Think you're better than me?
They went to school for all these years and had all this, you know, all this like official training and education when I was just like doing like hands-on training. So probably like at first was a little bit of envy / rivalry before I actually get to know them.
And I would think that you might have met, say, like the free clinic or somewhere where you were both offering aid to people who needed it with your fixer-upper skills.
Yeah, I was just about to say I think that's where we ran into each other, and
Yeah,
I think
makes sense.
I think he felt like I was a rival. I think Dr. Irina was more of a like she finds that his skills are very very useful, and that like she's impressed that he learned all this on his own and didn't go to school.
Yeah, and I think it's just like for Clancy, I think it's just like thinking that you think you're better than everybody else, which isn't, you know, it's not the case. But me thinking like, oh, this person went to school, they're gonna think they're fucking better than me.
I will say that Irina probably had that before, but like as life has gone on, she's more of a that schooling doesn't always matter. It's what you know and how you help people. But when you're young and dumb, sometimes it's like, yeah, I'm the best.
Well, I am, but
yeah, exactly. I am the best.
that's neither here nor there. Yeah, no, that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
See, these are some good questions. Merrick, these fit quite well for you. Either one of the party members is a cousin or a more distant relative. Another party member saved you when some corporate fucking diesel job tried to put a hit on you. Or one of these other party members has worked with you on a semi-legal, illegal, morally grey job in the past. And between the two of you, you can work out what exactly that job was. So we've got cousin or distant relative. They saved your life once, or they worked with you on some shady black ops job.
Well, the doctor saved me.
That's true. Yeah.
Even
the doctor
though
saved you.
the what is it called? Progressive or what is it? Progress or something like that?
The company name?
Yeah. Possibilities. Even though Possibilities wrote me off and were trying to kill me, you know, the doctor saved me. So I don't know necessarily they're related to me, but they're definitely the ones that saved me.
Okay.
At the behest of themselves.
Well, I guess because we've already had kind of that built in. That works pretty nicely. Cool. We'll go on to Automac. So the question is, okay. Someone either knows some of your dark secrets, but have agreed to keep quiet about them, and you can tell them what that dark secret is. This one will fit quite nicely with your backstory as well. You were both previously members of a group, which is not currently going. What? Then you ask them why they left, and you tell them why you did. And you saved somebody else's life in a tight spot, and you can tell them what happened. So to recap, someone knows a dark secret of yours, but has agreed to keep it quiet, and you can tell them what that dark secret is. You were both previously members of a, it's described as an eldritch group, but you know, whatever that translates to in this setting. And you can then ask them why they left and tell them why you left. Or you've saved somebody's life in a tight spot before, and you can tell them exactly how you did that.
Sure, I'll have a dark secret. Yeah.
Okay. Who knows your dark secret?
I would say Mags. I was trying to connect with Mags. Maybe it was like a like a weird like parasocial thing. Like, you're like me, I'm gonna try to connect, and it did not work.
And what was the dark secret that you told Mags?
I told
all those parking
her,
tickets.
Yeah, it's all those parking tickets. I was trying to ask about family, and I think it kind of came up that I had to scrap my own siblings.
Ooh. Ouch.
Yeah. My parents, in the process of trying to retrofit us all to dieseldom, some of them may have gone insane, and I, as the oldest, I was forced to hold them down and scrap them and take them and put them in the refuse pile for part reuse.
Oof.
Wow. Wow. And how did you meet Mags to get in to impart this terrifying secret? How has she become aware of it? How did you tell her?
I think it would be kind of an on the road thing. However, we all met up, but just like realizing
you just signed up for the same job and thought you'd met a kindred spirit sort of thing.
Yeah, and then family came up and it's like, well,
better put my foot in it.
Yep.
Whoops. Yeah, I like it.
Yep.
So you've worked together previously, and you've bared your soul to Mags, and Mags just sort of went, "That's nice. I'm never going to speak about that again."
I suppose I will sit over here then.
They're just seeming keeping with Max's personality, as we've discovered so far. So yeah, all right, cool. I like it. Okay. No, that doesn't work. Hold on a sec. Sorry, this is not interesting content to watch, but I'm just scrolling desperately while I try and look for the relevant bit. Okay. Mags. You can choose from initially rivals, but you both now respect each other's talents. Romantically involved, or you just have a crush on them on the DL. Or you're a bit suspicious of one of these party members.
Ooh.
So to recap again, initially rivals, but you now respect each other. Romantically involved, or you just have a crush on them, or you are suspicious of them. Perhaps not due to trusting their motivations, or due to some physical characteristics or powers, etc.
Yeah, I think I don't quite trust Merrick, because he started off blindly loyal to the corporation,
yeah,
and made such a drastic swing that it just doesn't sit well with her.
Okay. And how did you first come into contact with Merrick? Do you know?
I'm thinking it was probably through the doctor.
through the doctor. Yeah, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. I see that the doctor is kind of a nexus, but I guess working in the community and then also being part of the corporate world as you are, that makes perfect sense. So the doctor is sort of shaping up to be the linchpin of this group, this thing holding it all together, the person holding you all together.
But the thing that can unravel the whole thing.
Exactly that.
Out of place.
Yeah, that is the very problem with linchpins. And then finally, Dr. Irina. We've got... okay. one of the members of the party is on the corp's watch list, the corporation's watch list.
Ooh, okay.
And you've been instructed to keep an eye on them, or you've been keeping an eye on them because you know they're on a watch list and you want to make sure they're okay. You've been pulled out of a dangerous situation by one of the party members, or you met on a mission and worked together unofficially and successfully.
Any of these people could be on a watch list if we're completely
honest.
That's what I
was thinking. I was like,
true,
who would it be?
But who would the corporation be most interested in, and I guess why?
So I think they're all, because Mags is already technically on their watch anyway. I don't think it would be her because she's.
They probably feel like they kind of own her, right?
Yeah, they already know and own her. So like she's already being watched, and I know that.
And she knows it.
And she knows, she knows that as well.
Yeah.
I kind of think it might be Clancy, because he's working with some of like the black market.
He's a subversive.
Yeah, he's not going through the corporation, and
I'm cutting into their pocket.
knows. Yeah.
Yeah, you're an unlicensed like mod dealer guy.
And I think one of the reasons that she was going to the clinic in the first place was because they wanted to keep an eye on Clancy. She had like two motivations for it.
And she saw him working and thought, actually, this guy's probably not killing people and is doing good.
Yes.
So
but also,
I'll cover his ass a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got you.
Fuck yeah.
These questions are so friggin' good. Okay, that's kind of it for me, I think, for today.
Yeah.
I mean, there are more crunchy, complicated things that we can go into about regarding the mechanics of the game, but I think rather than talking about them in the abstract, it's better to just discuss them as they come up when we're playing.
Yeah.
If that makes sense to you guys.
I think so.
I mean, Adam's given a pretty decent overview of the core mechanics of the game. Again, just to rattle off the very, very, very basic high-level overview. Your stat pools indicate like the number of dice that you will roll, modified by whatever your special abilities or mods and stuff that you're going to use to do those rolls. So you roll that number of dice, and then you, out of those, a 4, 5, or 6 is considered a success, and a 1, 2, and 3 is a fail. So certain other dice have special effects if you roll a 1, etc. But those will come up more in play. And that's essentially how it works. I will assign a difficulty to any given task based on a table that exists in the rules as given, and then modify that based on circumstantial penalties or bonuses that I think are appropriate, based on how many. Say you were trying to, I don't know, say trying to kick a door down. That's probably not going to be too difficult of a thing to do under normal circumstances. Moderately difficult. You have to be quite strong to kick a door, but you are all adventurers of some capacity, so you wouldn't necessarily struggle too much with that. That might just be difficulty 1. If you're getting shot at and you're trying to kick a door down, and you're getting shot at and it's raining, and there's a thunderstorm happening, and it's slippery underfoot, and you're getting shot at. And then maybe, I don't know, a wild dog attacks. I don't know. But there's a certain, you're standing on a moving platform. Say you're on a train in the rain, getting shot at, trying to kick a door down. That would make it that much more hard. So say that would be a difficulty 4 or 5 instead of a difficulty 1, if you see what I mean. So the difficulty system is pretty easy. But again, it'll make more sense when we're doing it.
Yeah.
For real.
There's also, like, when we actually get into, surely, when we get into any kind of combat, there's a really cool kind of like action system where you get, like, a certain amount of, the movements.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you. I'm just looking at the Twitch chat. I've just missed a load of stuff.
The movement's all, like, in Gerundu's head. Like, you can move, like, I believe the rules say it is, like, a moderate amount of movement. So, like, Gerundu, it's not like in D&D where it's, like, 30 feet. You can move 30 feet. Gerundu's like, yeah, you could make that distance. But then there's, like, minor actions that, like, you can add on a bunch of minor actions, but you lose dice the more minor actions you do. We'll get into all that nitty-gritty tomorrow when we inevitably start to fight some fucking corpo assholes.
Yeah. But I think we've done a pretty good job of establishing who all you guys are and what your place is in this world, which is what I was aiming for today. It's been a really good laugh, as I knew it would be, because once we start asking these background questions and fleshing out your characters with your powers and why those are important to you and so on, and turning into a fucking car. Yes, I love it. Absolutely love it. And I can't wait to come up with something good for you guys to play tomorrow.
Yeah, super excited. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We could probably go ahead and just with the last couple minutes we got here, just go around and have everybody just, plug whatever they want to plug in.
Sure.
If you want to, we'll reverse it from last time. We'll go with Dragonbait first this time.
Oh, cool. Yes, I'm Dragonbait. You can find me over at the Nerd Asylum. You can find me here. I'm in That's Pretty Crafty and Roll for Weird for Majestic Goose. I'm in a lot for the Nerd Asylum, so please go to thenerdasylum.com to check out all of our shows. And I'm in 20SA, the original podcast that started this whole thing for me. And yeah, we'll actually see you on Tuesday for a new That's Pretty Crafty.
Ooh.
And speaking of That's Pretty Crafty, we'll go down to Danny.
Yeah, so I am Danny. You can find me all over the internet as Danielle Law. You can find me on Roll for Weird and That's Pretty Crafty. And yeah, we do have an episode coming up this Tuesday where we're talking about Animal Crossing.
And then going on up the line to Gerundu.
Hello everybody, I'm Gerundu. You can find me on Twitter at Gerundu. That's GIRUNDUU, right down there. You can find me on Roll for Weird, Silas Lancaster, every month on Twitch, and every alternate Friday, I believe, on your pod feeds, barring exceptional circumstances. You can find me as Jambalaya Pendergrass every other Wednesday on your pod feeds, and every other Saturday on the same week. As the pod drops, you can see us live on Twitch. And you can also find me on Ultimate Wednesdays on Dice Talk with Jeremy, where I am myself, such as I am. And you can find me every alternate Monday as Flex Crystal, live from the NBA arena for the Modrus Bloodsport Association.
And then going on up to the corner for Hollow Invective.
Hi, I'm Hollow Invective. You can find me Tuesdays with Forged Ambition, a Everon-based campaign featuring all metal players, well, characters, maybe players.
Jeremy looks pretty sus today.
Yeah. And sometimes you can find me on the Modrus Bloodsport arena as
my special boy.
Well, and Your special boy, and last time
Many
was
other
fuck.
characters
What was
as well.
his name last time? The
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
guy with a gun.
Yeah. Yeah, you can find me playing a number of characters on Mojo's Blood Sports Arena and anywhere else that I can get in. So, take it away.
Yeah, and so obviously we mentioned Extra Life. Go donate to that. That is, I'm putting it in the chat, bit.ly/goose2021. I hope that it's HTTPS and not HTTP. Let's see, that did work. So click that link. Just go to bit.ly/goose2021 to enter to be. You can donate just $1 to Extra Life and get a lot of really cool. Get entered into a lot of really cool giveaways. So that's going to be coming up in April, and I think, the two newest shows we've got on the Majestic Goose Network are Lore and Pour, which is like Drunk History meets D&D lore, which is a lot of fun. It's a podcast releasing. It was every Monday in February, but it's going to every other Monday here on out, starting with this coming episode. It will not be this the first Monday of March. It will be, I don't know, I might release it early because it was with Tim Lanning about Gith, and it was a lot of fun. So I might get a little trigger happy and release that one this coming Monday on March 1st, I think it is, and then go bi-weekly from there. The other one is Eclipse, which I'll probably let Jeremy talk a little bit more about because he is a GM about that one, but it is every other Thursday. A lot of fun. I get to play an Illithid cleric in that one. And then the last thing I want to talk about before I pass it off to Jeremy is Doom Clock is coming up fast. It's been a long way waiting. We thought we would be able to get the rules a little bit earlier. I thought that it was going to be the first Friday of February. Now we're still waiting. We can't exactly launch it until we get the at least the character creation part of the rules. So it's going to be the first Friday of every month. We're still, it's on the fence. We're still hoping for maybe next Friday, which is kind of ambitious. But we may play it a little bit like tonight was, where it's us talking about an overview of the system and kind of doing a session 0 like we did tonight. But either way, Doom Clock is going to be a Shiver-based tabletop RPG system, which is like they advertise it as like a 80s slasher film for TTRPGs, and it's going to be a time-traveling extravaganza where each stream is a one-shot where the gang have to go back in time and save a specific historical figure from being murdered by a monster of some type, and then it will be also a bi-weekly podcast. So stay tuned for Doom Clock, possibly launching in March, hopefully. We'll see how we get the rules, and that will actually have some of the cast on here. That will have Ernest, Jeremy, and Danny in it, so super excited to get that going, and really, really excited for that. Really hoping that comes up soon, and sorry for taking so much time. I'm going to pass it over to Jeremy over here.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm Jeremy. You can find me just about anywhere. You can find me on Forged Ambition with Ernest on Hollow Invective. That's the Twitch name. You can also find me on Roll for Weird, playing Shadow. You can also find me on Dice Talk along with Gerundu. You can also find me on the upcoming Shiver podcast called Doom Clock. And of course, you can find me DMing or GMing Eclipse, which is a sci-fi fantasy loosely based on Spelljammer Dungeons and Dragons podcast. So go check that out. You can also find me on DM's Guild, where I'm publishing content on there as well, and on Twitter and on Instagram and basically everywhere. So go follow me on at Tabletop Jeremy, where you can find links and posts connected to all these things. And I think for once I actually plugged everything in one time.
Hooray!
Well, thank you all so much for watching. We had a lot of fun tonight. tune in tomorrow night. Because tomorrow night we actually get down and play. Tonight was a lot of character building, world setting, mechanic speak. Tomorrow night, Drunder is actually going to set us fucking loose. And we'll see what Drunder comes up with, and we'll see what happens when the 5 of us actually get to fucking pull out some guns and some carts and segways and shit. So, super fucking excited for that. So yeah, we'll see you all tomorrow. Make sure same time, 7 o'clock Eastern.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
We'll see you then. Bye, everybody.